नमस्कार, गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन। सबसे पहले महाशिवरात्रि पर्व की आपको बहुत-बहुत शुभकामनाएं। जैसा शिव का स्वभाव है कि वो तापत्रय यानी आध्यात्मिक, आदि भौतिक और आदि दैविक तीनों प्रकार के तापों से हम सभी को मुक्त रखें, पूरे ब्रह्मांड में शांति व्याप्त हो, ऐसी शुभकामना के साथ हम इस अद्भुत सम्मेलन एक्यू 23 का शुभारंभ करने का बीड़ा उठाते हैं। सबसे पहले मैं अपनी ही एक फैकल्टी साक्षी को रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि दीप प्रज्वलन करें और प्रार्थना का गायन करें। उसके बाद में हम आज की कार्यवाही के बारे में आगे चर्चा शुरू करेंगे।
शुभं करोति कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धन संपदा शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योति नमोस्तुते दीपज्योति नमोस्तुते। इस
Sakshi madam, please recite the prayer for all of us on behalf of all the participants. Please unmute yourself, Sakshi. We are not getting your voice.
Sir, am I audible now? Thank you. नमस्कार एवरीवन। आज के प्रथा के अनुसार हम हर कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत प्रार्थना के साथ करते हैं। तो आइए हम सभी प्रार्थना के साथ इस हमारे कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत करें। मेरा आप सभी से निवेदन है, दोनों हाथों को आपस में जोड़ें और आंखें बंद कर लें। दीप की आराधना के साथ शुरुआत करेंगे और हमारी इस प्रार्थना को समर्पित करेंगे आदि योगी शिव। दीप ज्योति परम ज्योति, दीप ज्योतिर्जनार्दना, दीपो हरति पापम्, दीप ज्योतिर्नमोस्तुते। अवंतिकायां विहितावतार मुक्ति प्रदानाय च सज्जनानाम् अकाल मृत्युः परिरक्षणार्थम् वंदे महाकाल महासुरेशम्, वंदे महाकाल महासुरेशम्। ओम शांति शांति शांति। धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद साक्षी मैडम सस्वर प्रार्थना के गायन के लिए। आज का ये जो हमारा कार्यक्रम है, ये बहुत ही अद्भुत होने वाला है। जैसा हम सभी लोग जानते हैं कि एक्यूप्रेशर और एक्यूपंक्चर बहुत ही एक अद्भुत ऐसी विधाएं हैं जिनसे हम जितनी मानव जाति जो है वो बिना किसी खर्चे के, बिना किसी साइड इफेक्ट्स के अपनी हेल्थ को गेन कर सकते हैं। और ये जो पुराना हमारा आयुर्विज्ञान है, आयुर्वेद है, उसके अनुसार जो भी हमारे शरीर के अंदर समस्याएं आती हैं, ये प्राण के अवरुद्ध हो जाने के कारण। प्राण, जैसा हम जानते हैं, इसको योग में ब्रह्म भी कहा गया है और आयुर्वेद में इसको प्राण कहते हैं, जो नाड़ियों के माध्यम से संचारित होता है पूरे शरीर में। नाड़ी का जो शुद्धिकरण है, नाड़ी की पहचान करना, ये हमारी बड़ी प्राचीन विधाएं हैं। और एक्यूप्रेशर और एक्यूपंक्चर, नाम जरूर हमको ऐसा लगता है कि ये नए हैं, लेकिन इनके पीछे की जो सिद्धांत हैं वो हमारी इन सभी प्राचीन विधाओं पर ही आधारित है। महर्षि वशिष्ठ ने 108 मर्म स्थान कहे हैं हमारे पूरे शरीर में, जहां पर प्राण जो है वो मुख्य रूप से संचालित होता है। इसी प्रकार से एक्यूपंक्चर और एक्यूप्रेशर में ऐसे बहुत सारे मुख्य मुख्य पॉइंट्स कहे गए हैं, जहां पर प्राण अवरुद्ध हो जाने के कारण कुछ सिम्टम्स आते हैं हमारे शरीर में, और जब उनको ठीक कर लिया जाता है तो वो सिम्टम्स दूर हो जाते हैं। तो ये एक मुख्य सिद्धांत है और इसी पर आधारित ये पूरा विज्ञान है। और हमारे बीच में 7 बहुत मूर्धन्य, जो देश विदेशों में ख्यात प्राप्त हैं, ऐसे एक्यूप्रेशर एक्यूपंक्चर के वैज्ञानिक, डॉक्टर्स, ये चिकित्सक लोग, वो हमारे साथ में जुड़ने वाले हैं। तो आज पहले दिन हम लोग 4 ऐसे वैज्ञानिकों के उद्बोधन को सुनेंगे, उनके ज्ञान का लाभ उठाएंगे, और बाकी के जो 3 साइंटिस्ट हैं वो कल हमारे साथ में जुड़ेंगे। तो अच्छे से जुड़े रहिएगा, बी माइंडफुल टू ऑल द डेलिब्रेशंस। ये हमारे सबके लाभ के लिए है और सबके स्वास्थ्य के लाभ के लिए। तो अब मैं इस कार्यवाही को शुरू करने से पहले हमारे डॉक्टर A.K. जैन, जो सुंदरबाई फूलचंद आदर्श शिक्षण संस्थान एसबी पास के डायरेक्टर हैं और इंटरनेशनल नेचुरोपैथी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के एमपी चैप्टर के भी पदाधिकारी, प्रेसिडेंट हैं। तो उनसे मैं निवेदन करूंगा कि एसबी पास की गतिविधियों पर संक्षिप्त में प्रकाश डालें। डॉक्टर A.K. जैन, प्लीज।
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। नमस्ते, गुड मॉर्निंग टू एवरीवन, सुप्रभात। आप सबका इस द्वितीय इंटरनेशनल एक्यूकॉन वेबिनार में मैं स्वागत करता हूं। सुंदरबाई फूलचंद जी आदर्श शिक्षा संस्थान, जो कि 1993 से एनजीओ के रूप में कार्यरत है, जिसका मुख्य कार्य चिकित्सा, शिक्षा एवं स्वास्थ्य और स्वास्थ्य में भी विशेषकर ऐसी चिकित्सा पद्धतियों का प्रसार करना जो कि औषधि विहीन चिकित्सा पद्धति है। यह संस्थान देश के सबसे बड़े एक्यूप्रेशर उपचार संस्थान, एक्यूप्रेशर शोध प्रशिक्षण उपचार संस्थान द्वारा मान्यता प्राप्त प्रशिक्षण संस्थान है 2001 से। गांधी नेशनल एकेडमी नई दिल्ली राजघाट से 2001 से ही प्राकृतिक चिकित्सा के सर्टिफिकेट डिप्लोमा कोर्स रन कराए जा रहे हैं। योगा सर्टिफिकेशन बोर्ड, भारत सरकार, आयुष मंत्रालय के 2017 से हम योगा के सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स कराते हैं, जो कि 3 महीने के 6 मंथ के होते हैं, और संस्थान के लगभग 1,500 से ज्यादा योग प्रशिक्षक देश में योग शिक्षक बनकर अपनी सेवाएं प्रदान कर रहे हैं। इस तरह संस्थान देश की विभिन्न अन्य संस्थाओं के साथ में भी जुड़ा हुआ है। हम इंटरनेशनल नेचुरोपैथी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, राष्ट्रीय प्राकृतिक चिकित्सा संस्थान, आयुष मंत्रालय, भारत सरकार के सहयोग से भी योग, प्राकृतिक चिकित्सा एवं एक्यूप्रेशर चिकित्सा के जन जागरण के अभियान को जारी रखें। आज के इस वेबिनार का उद्देश्य कि देश में जितने भी एक्यूप्रेशर के, एक्यूपंक्चर के, सुजोग के जो चिकित्सक चिकित्सा पद्धति उपयोग करते हैं, उन्हें कुछ एक नया विजन साइंटिफिक एस्पेक्ट्स के साथ मिले। इस आयोजन हेतु हमने पूरे देश से विभिन्न विद्वानों को आमंत्रित किया है, जो कि 2 दिन आपके साथ आज और कल अपने ज्ञान को साझा करेंगे। दोनों ही सेशंस हमने थ्योरेटिकल एस्पेक्ट के साथ प्रैक्टिकल एस्पेक्ट्स भी जोड़ा है ताकि आप अपनी क्लिनिकल प्रैक्टिस में इस सबको अडॉप्ट करें। तो मैं पुनः आप सभी का स्वागत करता हूं सुंदरबाई फुलचंद जी आदर्श शिक्षा संस्थान की ओर से। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद डॉक्टर जैन साहब। मेरा सभी पार्टिसिपेंट से निवेदन है कि यदि उनको कन्वीनियंट है तो अपने वीडियोस ऑन करके रखेंगे। वीडियो ऑन करने से एक बड़ा लाभ ये होता है कि आपकी जो जिज्ञासा है, जो उत्कंठा है, विषय के प्रति जो आपका की जिज्ञासाएं हैं, उनसे हमें प्रेरणा मिलती है। तो जो भी वक्ता हैं वो प्रेरित होते हैं और ज्यादा अच्छी चीजों को साझा करने। तो दैट विल बी ऑफ ग्रेट हेल्प in case you are capable of switching on your videos. बहुत ही सौभाग्य का विषय है कि आज हमारे साथ में डॉक्टर रूमी फाटून बेराम जी जुड़े हुए हैं। ये एक बहुत ही he is a passionate healer and he passed his MBBS. He got his MBBS degree during 1975. And during 1977, he opened up his own hospital in the name of Beramji's Hospital. And slowly and gradually, he developed it. Now it is a full-fledged hospital that is capable of treating all sorts of patients. But at the same time, during 1982, he developed interest in this beautiful science of acupressure and acupuncture, and he was qualified as a diploma in acupuncture during 1982. And since then, he is continuously, trying to develop this science, and so that the more and more people they get the benefit of it. And for that reason, he has been, awarded with so many accolades. He was awarded Sarva Shri Award, gold medal, and then certificate of competence during 1995. Then a Samaj Shri gold medal during 1996. Then he was conferred an honorary degree of Doctor of Medicina Alternativa by Colombo University. Then he received World Lifetime Achievement Award by an American Biographical Institute, USA. Then he has got so many accolades to his credit, and he is with us, so we are all fortunate. And I'll request him to say a few words of blessings for this seminar and all the participants. Dr. Beram.
Thank you, Dwivedi sir, for your lovely introduction. I must first of all congratulate Dr. Jain and his whole team of workers to have made today's date very eventful. It is indeed a proud moment that hundreds of participants are attending this meeting. It makes my heart leap with joy to see the interest of so many people coming forward to learn. Also, one very good thing what I'm seeing right now, quite a few other organizations are supporting your program. This trend should continue with all the organizations trying to help each other. This is the only way we can take this science forward and support it and make it famous all over India. As you all know, acupuncture has got its recognition in a council in Maharashtra now. West Bengal did have it long time back. But our mission is to take it all over India. It can only go all over India if we make it famous. Also, there is a very big responsibility the Maharashtra Council has got right now, because we have given license to practice to many acupuncture practitioners. However, our aim is, and the goal of the council is, that we should enlighten them and enhance that knowledge. This knowledge can only be enhanced if we hold repeated conferences, seminars, webinars, like what you have taken the initiative. My request is to all of you, people who are organizing this seminar, people who are supporting this seminar, and people sitting in the audience, to please kindly come forward and keep on holding such seminars. On behalf of my organization EASP, I can tell you that we will give full support in the development of the science of acupuncture, and let us share good knowledge. Let us raise the level of acupuncture knowledge among all our fellows, and let us help the people of our country. This is my aim, and I look forward to it. Thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saab, for your blessings. And I'm sure these 2 days are going to be very informative for all of us under your able guidance. Thank you so much. Now, there is another wonder, एक आश्चर्य है हमारे साथ में, हमारे माननीय सांसद जो इंदौर से सांसद हैं, आदरणीय शंकर लालवानी जी, वो हमारे साथ में जुड़ गए हैं और हम उनसे प्रार्थना करेंगे कि वो भी आशीर्वचन कहें हमें। और एक और बहुत सुखद बात यह है कि आज उनका जन्मदिन भी है। अब देखिए कितना अच्छा एक कोइंसिडेंस है कि शिवरात्रि के दिन आपका जन्म हुआ, और कोई आश्चर्य नहीं है, शायद इसीलिए आपका नाम भी शंकर लालवानी जी पड़ा, और हम सभी जो हैं वो आपसे इतने अच्छे से जुड़े हुए हैं। माननीय सांसद जी से मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि अपने आशीर्वचन।
देखो, मेरी शुभकामनाएं, मैं आशीर्वाद तो नहीं दूंगा, मैं छोटा हूँ, मेरी शुभकामनाएं है, और इतना जरूर कहूंगा कि ये जो सेमिनार हो रहा है, निश्चित तौर पे इसमें हम सबको एक आने वाले समय में कैसे स्वस्थ रहें और बेहतर तरीके से, क्योंकि मैं भी इस विधा से हमारे जो अंतिम जैन जी हैं उनके ट्रीटमेंट में करवा चुका हूँ, तो मुझे भी इसका अनुभव है। और पार्लियामेंट में भी जब कैंप लगा था तो हमारे सांसदों ने सभी ने ये किया था, तो ये इसका प्रचार प्रसार और इसका उपयोग आम व्यक्ति तक हो, उसके लिए हम सबको मिलकर काम करना पड़ेगा। मुझे लगता है इस अवसर में मेरी ओर से बहुत सारी शुभकामनाएं।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर, आपके ये जो आशीर्वचन है, शुभकामनाएं हैं, ये हमारे लिए बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। हम सभी की ओर से आपको जन्म दिवस की शुभकामनाएं और शिवरात्रि महापर्व की शुभकामनाएं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू सो मच। हमारे साथ में डॉक्टर पीबी लोहिया सर भी जुड़े हुए हैं, जो बहुत ही अपने क्षेत्र के मूर्धन्य हैं। एक्यूप्रेशर और एक्यूपंक्चर में उनका बहुत बड़ा योगदान है, और उनके बारे में कुछ मैं बताऊं आपको तो ही इज द फाउंडर चेयरमैन ऑफ इंडियन एकेडमी ऑफ एक्यूपंक्चर साइंस। At present, he is dean in Huangzi Nijing Research Center in China, and he is professor emeritus of Medicina Alternativa Sri Lanka. So he is an international figure in this particular science, acupressure and acupuncture. उनको बहुत सारे अवार्ड भी मिल चुके हैं, जिसमें से मुख्य हैं सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ एक्सीलेंस फ्रॉम ओपन नेशनल यूनिवर्सिटी कोलंबो, देन फिजिशियन ऑफ द सेंचुरी, दिस इज एन इंटरनेशनल एक्कोलेड जो उनको मिला है, अल्बर्ट श्विट्जर इंटरनेशनल अवार्ड, पैक्स मुंडी इंटरनेशनल एक्कोलेड, देन he was recognized as a world famous doctor international award in China. Then he was also given an honoro merito in Italy. This means that Mother's Memorial Hospital Poland, he honored that hospital honored him as an honorable friend of the institute. So with these accolades and awards, he is with us, और हम उनसे ये प्रार्थना करेंगे कि वो अपने आशीर्वचन कहें। उनके आशीर्वाद से हमारा ये जो 2 दिनी अभियान है, लोगों में एक्यूपंक्चर और एक्यूप्रेशर को प्रसारित और प्रचारित करने का, वो सफल हो सके। माननीय डॉक्टर लोहिया सर।
नमस्ते। At the outset, I congratulate Dr. Jain and his colleagues for having arranged this international seminar. Last year भी seminar हुआ था and I was a speaker in that seminar. Basically, I am allopathic doctor. मैं जहां भी दुनिया में जाता हूं, जहां जहां मेरे लाइव कॉन्फ्रेंसेस होते हैं, प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंसेस होते हैं, पहला क्वेश्चन लोग यही पूछते हैं कि आप खुद एलोपैथी के डॉक्टर हो, फिर आप एक्यूपंक्चर क्यों करते हो? नो डाउट एलोपैथी इज अ वेरी गुड साइंस, बट इट हैज गॉट लिमिटेशंस. मेन क्या इन एक्यूपंक्चर इज अ ड्रगलेस थेरेपी. Because there is no drug, it is far more economical. In a developing country like India, where majority of the population belongs to poor category or low medium class category, acupuncture and acupressure is a boon for health. So number one, it is very economical. Number two, because there are no drugs, there are no side effects. एलोपैथी में जो हम गोलियां खाते हैं, दवा खाते हैं, दे आर ऑल केमिकल्स. ये केमिकल जब अपने बॉडी में जाता है तो लीवर और किडनी को डैमेज करता है, बिकॉज द केमिकल इज मेटाबोलाइज्ड इन लीवर एंड फिल्टर्ड इन किडनी. तो दोनों पे इफेक्ट होता है, जिसको हम साइड इफेक्ट कहते हैं. किसके आंख पे इफेक्ट होता है, किसके कान पे इफेक्ट होता है, किसके हड्डियों पे इफेक्ट होता है, किसके सेक्स पे इफेक्ट होता है, मेनी साइड इफेक्ट्स. In acupuncture, because there is no drug, there are no side effects. That is a very important advantage of acupuncture. और इससे भी सबसे बड़ा जो एडवांटेज है, मैंने जो आपको बोला कि मैं खुद एलोपैथी का डॉक्टर हूं, लेकिन एलोपैथी छोड़ी. क्यों छोड़ी? इन एलोपैथी, इन मेजोरिटी ऑफ द कंडीशंस एक्सेप्ट बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शन, देयर इज नो क्योर. बाकी सभी बीमारियों को बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शन है, हम एंटीबायोटिक देते हैं, लेकिन बाकी जो बीमारियां जैसे अस्थमा है, डायबिटीज है, हाई ब्लड प्रेशर है, या कोई भी बीमारी, हम सिर्फ सिम्टम को ट्रीट करते हैं, क्योंकि बीमारी की जड़ का हमको पता ही नहीं है. तो पेशेंट को लाइफ लॉन्ग दवा लेना पड़ता है. दिस इज द प्राइम रीजन फॉर विच आई लेफ्ट एलोपैथी एंड केम टू एक्यूपंक्चर. इन एक्यूपंक्चर, if the acupuncturist is expert in the science, he or she can find out the root cause of the disease. बीमारी की जड़ को हम ढूंढ सकते हैं. हम पेशेंट की टंग देखते हैं, पल्स देखते हैं, नेल्स देखते हैं, कुछ क्वेश्चंस पूछते हैं, और आजकल लेटेस्ट टेक्निक है कि कंप्यूटर पे हम पेशेंट के हर एक मेरिडियन में कितनी एनर्जी वो रिकॉर्ड कर सकते हैं, और 5 एलिमेंट्स का ग्राफ भी आता है. जो बीमारियां हैं उसमें पेन और पैरालिसिस, ये बीमारियां मेरिडियन में ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन के वजह से होती है. लेकिन सिस्टमिक डिसऑर्डर जो है, जैसे हार्ट की बीमारी, किडनी की बीमारी, लीवर की बीमारी, या कान नाक की बीमारी, आंख की बीमारी, जिसको हम सिस्टमिक डिसऑर्डर कहते हैं, दीज डिसऑर्डर्स आर ड्यू टू इम्बैलेंस इन 5 एलिमेंट्स. पंच महाभूतों में आपस में इम्बैलेंस होने से होती है. और हम जब पेशेंट को चिकित्सा करते हैं, पेशेंट के, हमको ये पता चलता है कि पंचमहाभूत में इम्बैलेंस कहाँ है, और वो अगर हम करेक्ट करते हैं तो कोई भी बीमारी जिसको हम अदरवाइज इनक्यूरेबल कहते हैं, that can be cured by balancing the 5 elements is very, very important in acupuncture. एक्यूपंक्चर से भी एक्यूप्रेशर का फायदा ज्यादा है, क्योंकि एक्यूप्रेशर में कोई भी खर्चा नहीं, प्रैक्टिकली नील. पेशेंट खुद का ट्रीटमेंट खुद कर सकता है. आई हैव रिटन मेनी बुक्स ऑन एक्यूप्रेशर. इन फर्स्ट एड एक्यूप्रेशर इज वेरी वेरी यूजफुल. जैसा कि इसको हेडेक हो गया, LI4 को दबा दिया, इसको मान में मोच आ गई, SI3 को चिमटी ले ली, कोई बेहोश हो गया, DU26 को नाखून से दबाया. एक्यूप्रेशर इज वेरी वेरी यूजफुल एज फर्स्ट एड. कई कॉन्फ्रेंस में मुझे लोग पूछते हैं कि व्हिच इज द बेस्ट मेडिकल साइंस, व्हिच इज द बेस्ट पैथी. मेरे से लोगों को ये उम्मीद होगी कि मैं एलोपैथी एक्यूपंक्चर का नाम लूंगा, लेकिन माय आंसर इज क्यूरोपैथी इज द बेस्ट पैथी. जो पैथी से आपकी बीमारी अच्छी हो सकती है, दैट इज द बेस्ट पैथी. व्हाई वी शुड हैव ईगो अबाउट अ पर्टिकुलर पैथी. सभी साइंस, जो ऑल मेडिकल साइंसेस, एलोपैथी, होम्योपैथी, आयुर्वेदा, एक्यूपंक्चर, या बाकी जो भी है, यूनानी है, सभी लोगों के भलाई के लिए है. इसलिए कोई भी चिकित्सा पद्धति की बुराई करने की कोई कारण नहीं, सभी अच्छे के लिए है. हमको क्या देखना है कि जो पेशेंट हमारे पास आया है उसके लिए किससे ज्यादा फायदा होगा। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, कोई पेशेंट को इंटेस्टाइन ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन है, ऑपरेशन करना पड़ेगा तो करना ही पड़ेगा, फॉर दैट सर्जरी इज बेस्ट। कोई बीमारी को समझो हमको लगा नेचुरोपैथी इज बेटर, विल सेंड इट टू नेचुरोपैथी। So what I want to tell you today, don't have ego of anipathy, but we want to propagate drugless therapies because they are without side effects and they are far more economical. मैं इस कॉन्फ्रेंस को पूरी बधाई देता हूं। Again, I congratulate Dr. Jain and his colleagues for having organized this beautiful event, and I request all of you to attend all the lectures. इसमें आपको अच्छे अच्छे स्पीकर्स के लेक्चर सुनने को मिलेंगे। धन्यवाद, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर, आपके आशीर्वचन बहुत वैल्यू रखते हैं हम लोगों के लिए, सभी के लिए। और जैसा आपने कहा कि सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट, सबसे जो महत्वपूर्ण बात है वो बीमारी को दूर करना है, और पैथी कोई भी हो, शुरुआत वहां से होनी चाहिए जहां कम से कम खर्चे में और कम से कम साइड इफेक्ट्स के साथ में आराम से उस पेशेंट को लाभ हो सके। ये प्राथमिकता होनी चाहिए, दिस शुड बी दी प्रायोरिटी। तो ऐसे जो आपके वचन है सर, हम उससे बहुत इंस्पायर हुए हैं सभी लोग, एंड वी होप दैट आपके जो ये आशीर्वचन है हम लोगों के साथ में हमेशा रहने वाले हैं। थैंक यू सो मच सर फॉर योर काइंड वर्ड्स एंड काइंड ब्लेसिंग्स। नाउ इस वेबिनार में बहुत कुछ अच्छी अच्छी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हमारे साथ में, एज डॉक्टर रूमी बैराम जी इंडिकेटेड दैट उन्होंने पहले उनको कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट किया है कि दे आर ऑल्सो सपोर्टिंग दिस 2 days webinar. So this is my prime duty to name those organizations. पहली है एक्यूप्रेशर शोध प्रशिक्षण एवं उपचार संस्थान SPS प्रयागराज। Then we have Indian Academy of Acupuncture Science औरंगाबाद, Association of Acupuncture Science Practitioners AASP Mumbai Maharashtra, then Institute of Classical Acupuncture Coimbatore, then we have International Naturopathy Organization INO, then Ishan Bangalore, Tiger Youth Club MP, International Federation of Holistic Practitioners IFHP, then JNZ Educational and Charitable Trust JNZECT. So I thank you all, the organization, by my heart, to all on behalf of all the participants. We are thankful to these organizations who have wholeheartedly supported this 2 days seminar. Thank you so much. So now this is the time, and we should enter into our scientific sessions. And our first speaker for today's scientific session is Dr. C.K. Raju. So let me introduce Dr. C.K. Raju before I invite him. He's a professor of acupuncture, a leading acupuncture scientist, a passionate healer. He has completed the curriculum of various universities. He's crafted the curriculum of various universities in Bangalore, Chennai, and Sri Lanka, and holding 22 years of experience, quite an experienced healer in healing various ailments. He is the founder of Jingwell Academy and mentored and trained over 200 qualified doctors. And these doctors, qualified doctors, he has trained them as an acupuncturist and acupressurist. And those doctors, they are now working in the sea also, on ships, for providing the healing to the persons. So now I request Dr. C.K. Raju to deliver his lecture.
Good morning, everybody. And thanks to Dr. Jain and the team for hosting my presentation today, which will be very useful in understanding the mechanism of acupuncture. And I straight away go to the presentation. Now, acupuncture mechanism 365, I have named it in such a way that it will be catchy. And you will always remember that there are 365 days in a year. And this 365 is going to describe to you the embryological intelligence that was acquired as soon as the fusion of the sperm and the egg happened within the mother's uterus. So the three germ layers, the ectoderm, endoderm, and the mesoderm, and the 6 meridians, starting from Taiyang, Shoyang, Yangming, then Taiyin, Shoyin, and Juyin, which these 6 meridians are actually studied in the major schools in the whole world as hand and foot meridians, and therefore they are called meridians. So basically they have physiological relevance. They have a unique physiology, 6 physiologies, 6 types of controls. So these 6 layers or the 6 channels are split into 12 meridians, which are studied in the common schools. And there are 5 pathomechanisms based on the 5-element theory. So the 5-element theory is being taken and researched beyond the co-cycle and Schenck cycle. And I'm going to explain briefly. I'm going to just give an introduction of the 5 pathomechanisms today. And I dedicate this to my teachers and students. So my dear friends, the creation of acupuncture channels begins right from the embryological development, that is morphogenesis. The 3 germ layers, ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm, they take up certain functional responsibilities till lifetime, until the soul leaves the body. And these create 6 layers of fascia, fascial networks, or intramuscular spaces that are studied under acupuncture meridian system. You all know that there are nations, there are boundaries, there are rivers, there are boundaries, and you have the latitude and longitude, the equator, which all you cannot see. You know that there is an equator, you know a Tropic of Cancer, a Tropic of Capricorn, and you know a North Pole and a South Pole. And there are territories for each and every nation. There are boundaries, borders, which can only be traveled. They can only be experienced by travel. Therefore, the chi inside the body travels through these boundaries, travels through these unseen pathways, which are known as meridians, and how and when it starts. So yang and yin are better explained through embryology, the race of multiple sperms to a single egg. Sperm is yang. It's a fast rocket packed with power, powerful mitochondrial energy, and contains an explosive tip. And this penetrating sperm, one sperm enters the egg. This egg, which is immobile, fat and packed with nutrients, allows itself to create and sustain life after it receives a single sperm to penetrate it, and keeps all the responsibility of developing, nourishing, and then finally keeping everything into memory and cherishing until the baby is delivered to the world. So during embryological development, there was an amniotic sac, yolk sac, and all these things are all already known to those people who had studied embryology, and embryology should be a compulsory subject for all acupuncture schools hereafter. I request Dr. Beramji, chairman of Maharashtra Acupuncture Council, to include embryology into the syllabi, because embryology is much relevant and embryology only can explain acupuncture. So we were about a millimeter in size at that time. In the third week of development, two waves formed and moved towards each other and became steeper and steeper as they approached the midline. Finally, at the midline, they formed a tube which completely closed itself off from the amniotic sac, and this is called a neural tube. So the brain, skin, and spinal cord, they all came from the ectoderm and they covered up. So they are responsible, that is, in the future, that would be called the due meridian or the governing vessel, which is responsible for all behavioral, all organizations, all the things. So the peripheral nervous system, the spinal cord, dorsal root ganglia, and the sympathetic nervous system, and they are all treated. Therefore, the back shoe points and the due meridian are much more relevant. And this is also known as Speman organization that could control the central nervous system, which in turn controlled and developed the peripheral tissues. The formation of acupuncture meridians was well organized and orchestrated by this cellular organization. And you can see the embryonic disc, the yolk sac, and these are all in a PDF, and I would love to send them across to all the members or to all the participants. The migration of neural crest cells to form jaw bones and facial features decided the beauty, intelligence, behavior, etc. The embryological organization was the prenatal potential that decided every life. Face is the index of the mind, and that's different. Mind, that's different. I didn't want to bring something else. So everything is decided. The beauty, the intelligence, everything is decided by the posterior ectoderm, which in future becomes due meridian and the bladder meridian and all. The Chinese Qi is demystified and understood as the survival instinct, which is a spark of life that has the potential for all morphogenesis and physiological functions. From a peppercorn size with just 8 points around it, eight caretakers around it, the dew, the ren, the chong, and then the exterior dye, then the interior, the wei mai, and then the internal, the yin and the yang, they're all protected, and the upper, the lower, and the yin qio, yang qio. So the 8 extraordinary meridians form first. They are the first to form. And before the extraordinary meridians, 8 extraordinary meridians are formed, the ectoderm becomes the due meridian, the endoderm converges up to the chin and stops there below the lip as the ren meridian, and the chong brings the soul, brings the beautiful soul inside and takes care of all the mesoderm and all the development of the organs and the most innate willpower or confidence or the self of a person. So the protective and abstract yang qualities are contained in the dorsal midline that stems up from the ectoderm and called the dew channel. And then the ren channel that crawls upward to the chin and the lower lip, rising from the perineum, takes care of nourishment and growth, and therefore is called the conception vessel. So the brain and spinal cord do the governing work through dew channel, which are responsible for cognitive intelligence and behavior. The visceral organs nourished by the REN channel, the conception vessel, which takes the responsibility of bonding, emotions, reproductive health, and nutrition. That's why we see that today in infertility, the treatment is mostly on the anterior side, on the stomach meridian, on the REN meridian. So the REN in Chinese is human. So human, the reproduction, the bonding, emotions, emotional connection and all. So the gene sonic hedgehog discovered somewhere some 20 years back plays a very important role in organogenesis and is vital to craniofacial development also. So that's why you see faces are different, the nose is different, the lips, and then the intelligence is seen from the frontal lobe and from the there is a phrenology physiognomy. They find out how intelligent a person is in detective sciences. So this is a signaling molecule that works by diffusion like the mystical expression of Qi, the primary substance of health with life-giving properties. So here we are able to explain what Qi is. Qi is survival instinct, Qi is a spark of life and everything. So this morphogenetic survival intelligence, Qi.
Dr. Raju, sorry to interrupt you. There is some problem in your screen is not moving. The slides are not moving. Kindly check it.
Oh, I'll check it. Thank you. Is it okay now, sir?
You kindly check it by moving the slides one or two, if it is moving properly.
It's moving, it's moving.
Okay.
It's not moving, sir.
No, for us it is not moving, sir. Frozen.
Okay. So I will better open the PDF of the same thing. I will share the other thing.
Kindly do that.
Is it okay now?
Yes, sir. Now it is all right.
I wrongly hit the pause share button. I'm sorry.
Okay, sir. Okay. Now it's all right.
So now, where were we in the development? The REN and the Du meridians have been developed, and the Chong has entered, bringing a beautiful soul inside and a purpose for life, everything along with it, and passing through internally. And it is also called a thoroughfare vessel. The thoroughfare vessel, a thoroughfare is a point where anybody can enter, you know. So any soul can enter. Any soul or multiple souls, they can enter. And there is the entry of the person inside. So the gene, sonic hedgehog, I had explained, and this morphogenetic survival intelligence further created 6 more planes of protective webs to absorb the mother's resources. That is, the mother's resources, the jing, the essence, and to acquire the genetic and psychic imprints, which are also known as yuan or life curriculum within the genes. Put together, these 6 supported physically by the dorsal Du and ventral REN make 8 extraordinary vessels, EOV, extraordinary vessels. And some schools teach it as extra vessels, and actually they are psychic vessels. They all carry the psychology, the patterns in life for the person until the soul leaves the body. So they all carry the purpose for life. They all carry the will, confidence, everything. So these EOVs, extraordinary vessels, the 8 extraordinary meridians, they dealt with the anterior posterior plane. That is, anterior posterior is REN and Du. Interior exterior aspect is Chong and Dai. superior, inferior is way and nei, and then right and left. So there is a yin wei and yin-chio and yang-chio. The yin-chio is the right and the yang-chio is the left. That is K6 on the right and UB62 on the left. They are most important. These 5 points behave like escorts in a convoy, like 8 escorts actually surrounding a very important person to be born, to be generated into a fetus. In the embryological development itself, these 8 points are there, and like a balloon which is blown up, they go distally and they become distal points, lung 7, K6, UB62, SJ7, and all. So they moved to distal points at the lower and upper extremities as the fetal development took place and served to awaken the survival instinct, chi, during lives, whenever they are manipulated during an acupuncture treatment or a meridian exercise also. So, I mean, acupressure and meridian exercise and frequent application of pressure on these 8 points will keep a person happy, healthy, and harmonious. So the mesoderm formed the muscles and bones on the outside of our body that move our entire body. It formed the blood vessels and blood that move nutrients and energy. Also the muscles of the gut and diaphragm, the internal organs, and the muscles of the heart that pump the blood, and the kidneys that store the, so all the major organs are from the mesoderm, and they make the fascia also to move the chi. Now, you can see a picture here. Dew and Ren meridians are like the 2 tall frames of a ladder, and this ladder actually has 6 more steps, 6 more rungs to make it a complete tool for a person to ascend, to go up, or to evolve, or to come up in life. So, which is similar to the DNA helix, which is comparable to this ladder. So this is Dew, Ren, and all the meridians, the Chong, the Yin Wei, Yang Wei, and then the Yin-chio, Yang-chio, and the Dai-mai, they all are very strongly binding the 2 poles, and that is the 8 meridian system. So now I have spoken about the 3 layers, ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm, and the extraordinary vessels that were created. And now I come to fascia, an uninterrupted, viscous, dense, irregular, elastic tissue. That is the definition for fascia, which forms an impermeable collagen matrix that surrounds and connects every muscle and organ, continuously weaving and making a network. And I am supposed to mention the name of a great author today, Ted Kupchak, who had written The Web That Has No Weaver. The web that has no weaver, that is our acupuncture meridian system. So no weaver, but there is a great web that can actually carry the survival intelligence up, down, across, from interior to exterior, exterior to interior, and so many things happen. So fascia as a unified whole is the connective tissue sheet in the human body, including aponeurosis, joint capsules, muscular envelopes, and tendons connected to cell membranes as small fascial fibers. The outer layers of the limb deep fascia contain a rich vascular and nerve supply with intrafascial nerve fibers throughout the deep fascia. So the fascia are mostly innervated by proprioceptive nerves, and that is the triggering points. Those are the triggering points, and they trigger the dechi sensation. The eliciting or the arrival of dechi is felt while treating with needles. So they are intimately connected with the autonomic nervous system also. And collagen, which is the main component of fascia, is semiconductive, piezoelectric, and photoconductive. Therefore, the electric stimulation or moxibustion are all trying to produce an alternation. All these external influences are trying to bring about an alteration. So now I am coming to the 6 meridians, which are nothing but the fascia. And the organs pair up during their genesis. As they develop, the organs also pair up with the 6 fascial layers. And here there is a picture taken from A Spark in the Machine, A Spark in the Machine book written by Daniel Keown, who actually turned my thoughts towards such an embryological intelligence. So I salute Master Daniel Keown for presenting such a beautiful book, which I could actually read twice, thrice, and then understand what it was. So the heart and kidney are showing retroperitoneal. Now you can see the aorta, the heart and the kidney at the back posterior, the esophagus, spleen, pancreas, and lung in the middle, vena cava, the supravena cava and the infravena cava, coming to the front as join. So let me repeat this. See, you can see the join, you can see the tie-in in the middle, and then the show-in at the back. And you can see in the cross-section which organs are covered by show-in, which organs are covered by join, and which organs are covered by tie-in. Now, the three internal pathways that wrap the internal organs are formed much simply, since the yang organs are hollow spaces. You know, yang is hollow and hollow spaces. The three yang channels each have an arm and leg end, like the in channels also. So all the channels here, all the 6 channels have one show and one leg. For leg, you have zoo. So these are all just Chinese names. If you can interpret the Chinese name as hand and foot, you will understand that there is Yang Ming, which is split into Shou Yang Ming and then Zhu Yang Ming. So that is stomach meridian. Zhu Yang Ming is, you have a point Zhu Ling Qi, the foot Ling Qi, Zhu Ling Qi. So the bladder and small intestine form Taiyang. The stomach and large intestine form Yang Ming, and the gallbladder and triple burner create Shouyang. These lines correspond to the fascial planes between the muscles that run up behind the spine. The bladder channel points running alongside the spine are not named in relation to their effect on the bladder, but on their adjacent organ. See, that's why you have all the backshoe points on the bladder meridian. So the channels are actually those unseen pathways, and they have a connection to the organ, however, but that is not the prime purpose. The adjustment of the heat, cold, dryness, dampness, and then the humidity and the activity and the stillness, restive mood, everything are the interplay of the harmony between these meridians, and these are actually attuned through the points. So the yang channels are outside the fascia of muscles and very intimate with the joints. Now the artificial boundaries of oceans, rivers, and continents do not really exist, as I told you. So therefore the 6 meridians opening from dorsal Taiyang on the back and then closing with the ventral Juyin, which is on the anterior, they all have specific purposes. So the Taiyang is the most superficial posterior layer for quenching heat and eliminating stress. That's why for all stress elimination, we use UV40. Vulnerable to cold. Any cold will attack the backshoe points and you have to protect the back. Stagnations happen there, and that's why there are cupping methods, dry cupping, wet cupping, the hijama therapy, the moxibustion and all on the back, and massage of the back itself is enough to relieve the stress in the back. And anything that catches from behind, when I say anything, I mean any quantum energy. It may be spirit, it may be jinn, it may be anything, possession or whatever it is, everything will catch up on the back, like the King Vikramaditya, who was always carrying a ghost on his shoulders. So we carry ghosts on our shoulders, however, everybody has. We don't know when the ghost gets out and when a better angel comes in, and sometimes there will be an angel on one shoulder, one ghost on another shoulder, like anacardium. And most of us carry angels inside of us. And carrying these on our shoulders will not actually cause any burden. So there is a treatment on Taiyang. Soyang are the spaces needed to drain the toxins through the lymph and lubricate the tendons, guide and open everything to lead thought to clarity. So if you are thoughtful, you may not sleep. If you have clarity and you have fulfillment, you will sleep well. So sleep comes when there is fulfillment and clarity. When there is thought, we can't sleep. That's Soyang, which operates from 9 to 1. 9 to 11 is Sanjiavo, and then 11 to 1 is gallbladder. And at that time, all the unwanted toxins, toxic thoughts, and all the knowledge, everything has to be drained, everything to be shut off. That gives peace of mind, that then you become restful. Then Yang Ming lights up the central physiological process to seek routine life perspectives, awakens to purposeful behavior and alerts every space within. So the mental alertness comes in with the sunshine, with the sunlight from 5 to 7 and then 7 to 9. I was just looking at a pet dog today, which was having digestion issues and taking a sunbath. So after sunbath only, that dog comes and eats the food. Because it needs first sunlight, then food. Then Tayin, which is nourishing blood and keeping the form and life quality in harmony, feeds every cell and pushes blood to microcapillaries, pushing the carbon dioxide outside, pulling the oxygen inside, and taking the nutrients inside, and then through enzymatic activity of the pancreas, which we actually call spleen, which comes under spleen organ, spleen Zhang organ, and spleen meridian. And this is exchange of nutrients and exchange of oxygen and everything, exchange. So all intercellular, all inter and intracellular. So between cell wall and nucleus and within one cell and another cell. So Shoyin is sustaining all the blood properties for smooth circulation and calm mind, because it controls the heat of the person. The heart and the kidneys take care of the blood volume, blood heat, blood pressure, everything, to ensure the happiness within and outside. And Juyin is the most responsive space needed for thought, action, and survival powers, deciding the performance and position in life because they are connected to the liver and the brain. So most responsive space needed for thought, action, and survival powers. So let us take forward all these ideologies, and in future, let us create a better curriculum by teaching our upcoming acupuncture enthusiasts such ideas. And there is more clarity in this medical science than any other medical science. I am very proud to be an acupuncturist. So now we have come to the 5 pathomechanisms. We had been talking about 5 elements and the co-cycle, the control, and what sort of a control and what happens when you treat a wood meridian and its fire point. The wood burns, you are igniting. So what is happening is there are 5 physiologies ultimately summed up. I happened to stumble into somebody's picture, some European or I don't know, some South European or Russian or somebody who had actually given these 5 pathophysiologies, pathomechanisms for the co-cycle: penetration, structuring, inhibition, activation, and absorption. So the penetration actually happens. The male penetrates the female during nuptials, and the sperm ejected swims, and one single sperm penetrates the ovum. And when you plant a seed under the underground, the seed penetrates the surface of the earth and comes up, sprouts, and then becomes a shrub, and the shrub becomes a tree, and the tree becomes a very big banyan tree or whatever, it gives shade. So the penetration of sunlight is sought by the tree when it grows. So there is penetration everywhere. The water penetrates the roots, and the nutrients penetrate through the whole tree from the roots. So the penetration is a very important physiology The penetration is a pathomechanism. So the penetration of cells is very important. So enhancement of cellular penetration of micronutrients will give better metabolism and ligand receptor binding. And structuring of neurotransmission to rectify ischemic and cerebrovascular conditions, metal and wood, because the liver has to be structured. Unless there is a structural arrangement, unless there is discipline, the liver produces shocks and the body shakes and there is tremor, neurological tremor, because the sodium which is actually jumping from in a neurotransmission from neuron to neuron, the neuronal firing which is uncontrolled will create anger. The neuronal firing which is properly controlled and regulated will keep a person very calm, quiet, and he will be able to think. His thought process will be proper. It won't be abrupt. So the abrupt firing is controlled only by disciplining the metal, using the metal on the wood. Just imagine that there is a huge tree which is actually shaking in the wind. When you cut down certain branches, it will stop the shaking. So we have to trim, we have to make the forest in a man, the forest in a person into a garden, beautiful garden. So forest also has trees and garden also has trees. So there is a difference between a forest tree and a garden tree. There are forest fires, but there are not garden fires. You don't talk about garden fires, you say forest fire. So there is friction. So unless the wood, unless the growth, unless the liver transmission is controlled, there is more histamine in the brain, and when the histamine passes from the passes through the brain-blood barrier, this epileptic seizure is uncontrolled, and that causes a lot of emotional, psychological disorders. So there is structuring which is very much important, and harmonization of neuroendocrine circuits by inhibition of thermal states. See, the thermal state has to be stabilized. There should be harmony between the heart and the kidney to bring down very high temperature or to actually warm up a person when there is a disturbance in the thermal state. Therefore, this is called inhibition. This inhibition is very much important, not only to control fever, also to control the blood parameters. And the unblocking of obstructed chi life flow by activation of intermediates, fire and metal. Fire acting on metal will be able to pull the metal into a string or to actually mold it properly, or to remove the obstructive pathology inside the body, remove the phlegm, to remove any obstruction, remove the stones and all. We need the fire on metal points. And absorption of proper kidney essence happens, and absorption in the U-tubules of the kidneys is a very important physiology that comes under absorption. Absorption of nutrients in the digestive system is also absorption. So I'm going to talk about the 5 physiologies briefly, and I'm going to conclude the whole show. So the penetration is an interaction of a set of wood and earth. When wood and earth act, it is penetration. Wood penetrates the earth. It's a phenomenon that happens at the surface of earth, which is soil, mud, or sand. However, penetration of clay is much difficult without causing cracks to the substratum. That's why in a dry condition, you get cracks. When you find cracks on the foot, cracks on the sole, or cracks anywhere in the body, you should understand that internal dampness is lost and there is more dryness. Dryness is commanding over, dryness is dominating over dampness. So you can split penetration into permeation and protrusion. And permeation or infiltration is explained when the sodium ions, potassium ions, calcium, and chloride, along with positive and negative charges associated with them, create the nerve impulses and help in the exchange of gaseous molecules, oxygen and carbon dioxide. So these are all penetration. They all come under penetration. So the nerve impulses travel throughout the body with the aid of sodium-potassium pump, cation pump. So the cell membrane semi-permeability is restored by the acupoints capable of penetration. So there is semi-permeability that comes in, or the certain sort of elasticity where you go for angioplasty. when the elasticity of the blood vessels is lost, when they become plastic, the opposite of elasticity is plasticity. So when they become plastic, you go for angioplasty and stents are placed for the blood to flow better because the blood vessels are hanging and they are not able to actually do that job. So when the cell membranes, wherever they are, not only in the heart, not only regarding the cardiac surgery, so wherever they are, the blood vessels, the epithelial cells have to be properly exchanging everything. So the permeability, if it is lost, it becomes semi-permeability and they become plastic. And they lead to protrusion or prolapse also. And this is another type of a penetration, which includes the encroachment of a rigid space. Soon we are going to conclude, causing hernia and other things. So we have to treat the spleen and the spleen points, the spleen meridian points, and certain points associated with the spleen meridian also. So to restore the cell wall elasticity and to heal the plasticity. Now structuring. Structuring is an interaction of a set of metal and wood points. Structuring is needed when neurotransmitters and blood struggle to move upward to the head, sometimes turbulently. Sluggish movement causes cardiovascular or cerebrovascular accidents with turbulent movement, resulting in seizure, vertigo, and behavioral extremes. Proteins, are very long amino acids and much complex, and they have to be folded. So there is an amino acid distribution and amino acid traffic involved, and there is a protein metabolism involved. And if the proteins, and that the heaviest molecule in the body is mucus. Mucus is the heaviest molecule in the body, and when it tends to actually move along with blood to the chest and move even to the throat and to the sinuses, it causes all sorts of things like sinusitis, Alzheimer's, and then blocks, tinnitus. Everything comes in with wind. So this abrupt wind has to be controlled. To control the abrupt wind, we need to regulate using the release of chaperones. So the chaperonin is a molecule, or chaperonins are many enzymes in the body which actually help the folding mechanism of unfolded or aggregate big molecules which are actually synthesized by the liver. So the liver is much involved in protein synthesis, and I don't mean that the other organs are not so, but liver is majorly associated with protein synthesis and it needs a discipline. So the metal points actually, or the lung connecting to the liver, will be able to, or when the liver can get more oxygen, when the liver can get more of this sunshine, or whatever we had assimilated, the sunshine as well as the oxygen. So in a polluted environment, more people are suffering because of a liver, a fatty liver, and when they actually pollute their system also with alcohol or smoke, they suffer more. So it ultimately damages the liver. So the energy from adenosine triphosphate breakdown will be majorly recoverable. So to make a person better, we need to treat the liver, the metal point of the liver, to do the structuring. Inhibition. When fire meets water, there is total inhibition. You can't see the water, you can't see the fire. Both disappear. So the inhibition of heat is the thermoregulation associated with the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, HPA axis, a major neuroendocrine process to control stress and many body processes, which include digestion, immune system, mood, emotions, sexuality, energy storage, and expenditure. The core internal temperature is maintained due to any one of the following: sweating, vasodilation. So these come to rescue the person. After the treatment, if a person sweats, it's good. Sweating, vasodilation happens, vasoconstriction, thermogenesis, and hormonal thermogenesis. So this causes general adaptation to harmonize the secretory function of the kidneys and protects the system from potential threats to the heart and brain. So the inhibition in acupuncture treatment is very efficacious in control of seizures, headaches, and the majority of infertility and menstrual issues, where blood discharges and absorptions are involved. So I just wrote this literature. I just compiled this literature only after my experience in doing treatments to certain people. And I remember a 21-year-old girl who was nose bleeding every 28th day, which was unexplained by any medical science. Modern medical science couldn't explain, but they had something called precocious puberty. Whether we accept that or not, the person was treated on pericardium 3, P3, and after 1 week or 2 weeks, that nose bleeding stopped. The 28th day nose bleeding stopped, and after 2 months, she attained puberty. So acupuncture points have such a mysterious, miraculous way of treating conditions which are unexplained in any medical science. Then only I could understand that there was a thermoregulation done, and this inhibition, the pathomechanism inhibition was actually acting in her system, and instead of blood going through the nose, blood was concentrated, and it also helped the uterus to actually help that menarche to come up. So this beneficiary organ or the beneficiary meridian is heart. So pericardium 3 or heart 3, they can actually calm down. Then activation. Activation of chi to a higher energy level is needed to push any obstruction of flow of body fluids and blockage of orifices as a restorative treatment. And this was very much needed in Corona. In COVID-19 situation, lung 10, metal on fire on metal point was very much needed. UG. So the catabolic enzymes dissociate the obstructive substances to clear the blood vessels, ducts, or orifices and remove them by elimination. So if you want to clear any obstruction completely, constipation or stones in the kidney or some phlegm obstructing the orifices, so the expectoration needs to be facilitated, and you need mucolytic enzymes. So there are mucolytic enzymes inside the body, and if they don't secrete, we will have to go for mucolytic enzymes outside. So I don't mean that allopathy doesn't help. So I need a mucolytic enzyme to actually break down. There is a mucin. It's an amino acid only. So I'm just going to take an amino acid, not an antibiotic. So we can combine all the therapies as Lohiaji told. We have to say blah blah. No, I don't respect this system or that system. We have to have every system, because I depend on hypertension medicines. I depended on angioplasty 2 years back. So everything helps, and I have to take all the theories, all the things that I am summarizing here should be acting on my body, and somebody has to do that, or I have to do it myself. Then it makes a person's health better and harmonious. So activation also releases inflammatory cytokines that have a role in inflammatory and immune responses. And activation also triggers the alternate complement pathway as a defense against pathogens, since Wei Qi circulates along the skin ruled by lungs. We all know that lungs rule the skin, and acupuncture is done on the skin. And most of the needles placed on the skin will do this activation, and they open up an alternate complement pathway. I got this term, this alternate complement pathway, from a book on immunology. There is a summary on immunology written by a St. John's immunologist. So I would thank all those people, all those teachers who wrote books and through whose books I acquired all. So finally, we are coming to the last slide. Last but one slide. Absorption, we all know. Absorption is not only absorption of digestion, nutrients during digestion, it's also absorption of the essence to retain the sodium, to retain the bicarbonate, to retain the certain substances. And in somebody's urine therapy book, I read that most of the people lose serotonin through urine. The serotonin lost in urine is restored by urine therapy, urine drinking therapy, which was practiced by our Morarji Desai and some more people. I too tried some time back. to cure my psoriasis, and it was cured. Of course, it works. So recovery of bicarbonate and kidney water recovery and blood pressure regulation to produce the enzyme renin and the series of reactions, they all come under the absorption component of the pathomechanisms. And these are all water points. Water points wherever you treat will actually lead to absorption, UB40 or spleen 9 or even K3. So they will all result in absorption. So water recovery is also powerfully done and directly influenced by the hormone ADH, which is antidiuretic hormone, also called vasopressin, which regulates the sodium concentration. So the restoration of fluid status is vital in advancing age and in certain conditions like anorexia nervosa. Thirst mechanisms are also activated to promote the consumption of water lost through respiration, evaporation, and urination. And acupuncture facilitates the resultant regulation of extracellular potassium, chloride, calcium, and phosphate, hydrogen, bicarbonate, and pH. And on the other hand, elimination of nitrogen wastes, which are deaminated, and elimination of water-soluble drugs also, which are toxic. So, to summarize, meridians are the spaces where our survival intelligence moves. These spaces and the acupoints are organized centers created by embryological intelligence and manipulated by quantum energies are not static points. They are all dynamic. They all have a consciousness. They all remember what they had been in the embryological level. They all know what it was and what it is today. So they have memories. So they are all dynamic mechanisms in our body. In our whole body, we have lots of consciousness loaded in the acupuncture points, and the consciousness travels from the top to the bottom, from bottom to the top, from the interior to the exterior, from exterior to the interior, from one organ to the other and all. So it is all travel of consciousness which we feel in acupuncture system. And the acupuncture treatments work by switching off the genes and switching them on whenever needed. So they go deep to the genetic level, to the gene level, and they work on the sequences. So the 8 prenatal meridians or psychic meridians care for the 6 postnatal meridians. They produced everything. So they are most primary. And the 6 postnatal meridians have specific roles in health. For example, Shoyang is very much responsible for producing peaceful sleep and to make a person calm and quiet, and to allow him to actually breathe through meditative experiences and to understand what he is for, what philosophy of life is and all. And the 5 elements of organs and acupoints are just not for a theoretical tabulation and just for an examination purpose. They explain the interactions and pathomechanisms, and we have to actually seek more and more inputs, more and more feedbacks from whomsoever we treat, and then we have to understand how acupuncture is happening and why something is happening. And there shouldn't be failures at all, and I suppose when we understand what we do, we will be able to do it better. So I thank all of you today for the great moment, and I hope this is carried forward, and I wait for questions.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Raju, for this awesome presentation. This must have enlightened so many participants. I am personally delighted with the things which you have put in such a scientific way, which endorses not only the modern science but the very old yoga philosophy also. You have very rightly connected in all these 3: the modern, the most modern as well as the most ancient science. Right, starting from the soul and the survival instinct. In yoga, we call it as abhinivesh, which is the most apparent source of misery for all of us. And you very rightly told that all these, meridians are located on this, just to switch on the genes required and switch off them. So wonderful, wonderful. I owe a lot to you, sir. Thank you so much for sharing such an amazing knowledge with us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you once more.
And yes, we obviously have so many questions, and we'll try them, to reconcile. And whenever we'll have a question and answer session, then we'll take up. Thank you so much, Dr. Raju. So now coming to our next speaker, he is Professor Dr. Samiullah A.R. He'll be speaking on foundation of sports medicine in acupuncture. And Dr. Samiullah is BNYS, Bachelor of Naturopathy and Yogic Sciences, Masters in Acupuncture, MSc in Yoga, PhD in Acupuncture, and he is also advisor for acupuncture in Tianjin Medicine University of China. And he is the founder of Karnataka Acupuncture Association and chairman of Federation of Acupuncture System Therapy Board, FAST, in Bengaluru. And he has prepared this syllabus for 24 renowned books in acupuncture. And he also has published 5 very important books which are renowned in this field. And he has chaired a number of seminars and member of very important academic bodies. And he has also received so many rewards in this direction. Acupuncture Ratna Award, Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Excellence Award, then Bharat Jyoti Award, and Merit of Excellence Award by University of Sri Lanka. So I now request Dr. Samiullah to speak on foundation of sports medicine in acupuncture.
Yeah. So a very good morning to one and all. I'm thankful sincerely to my professor, Dr. C.K. Raju, my seniors, and all our well-wishers and national stalwarts giving me this opportunity. Today we are talking about the, just I would like to say the sports medicine is not the super simple medicine. In fact, this is the very wide and broad spectrum subject. So which today is required, the people who are in the athletes. So now we look into that athletes, now nearly the 40 different types of the sports. If we look, the thousands of sports medicines are existing and sports activities are there. Among them, 40 is the more crucial. But in that, for the day-to-day, the people will be affected for the minute sprain to the major fractures as well. Now we are talking about the which can be applicable through the acupuncture, cryopuncture, and heat therapy, and of course is the cupping therapy. Right. These are the acupuncture here is majorly divided into macro acupuncture and micro acupuncture. So this in fact based on the macro acupuncture, here we wanted to highlight, because the traditional Chinese perspective, we need to understand about the macro points as well. When we understand about the macro, 361 or 411 acupuncture points are existing in the body. In that, the most crucial is we wanted to add up certain points for the sports medicine to treat for this kind of the disorders. For instance, there is an injury on the neck region or the time there is a problem, minute fracture on this region, and that particular time without surgery they are doing the cast on it. When they are placed the POP, so that particular time over the period of time 1 week to 10 weeks and then 3 weeks or 6 weeks, so later that there is a rigidity or the spasticity in the muscular system. So that particular time, how we need to handle and treat the patient, in fact that's a very important key over here. But here I wanted to give you as a PPT and also as my own personal experiences, and based on that I wanted to give you slides are really crucial. But apart from these slides, this also which I wanted to give you as a information related to the acupuncture meridian pathways. Along with that, there is a connectivity known as a each and every muscle having the connectivity of the motor nervous system as well. When there is the issues related to the humerus is affected, so that particular time we use the splint or we use the cast. So later after some period of time, these muscles, the anterior deltoid or the posterior deltoid muscles get a rigidity on that particular situation. Of course, there is the isometric and exercises are there. So those exercises really will be helpful. Along with that, it is recommended to treat for that particular motor point which is located on that muscles. So we all know there are the 642 muscles are existing in our body. Among them, there are the specific muscles having the belly of that particular muscles. So that belly we wanted to focus and treat to relax that particular muscle where that already has been tightened that particular muscles. For instance, now there is a area called on the humerus region. So this particular region is affected. So that particular time you understand there is a pain on especially on the anterior deltoid muscles having the great pain and then stiffness. That particular region, there is a acupuncture point, and also there are the few points are there in our body which is corresponding and correlating to that particular muscles as well. Acupuncture point also same, and then motor point also same, that particular region. For instance, there is a point is Pinau, that is large intestine 14. So that point itself is the anterior deltoid muscle motor point. So once we activate that particular point by giving the strong manual stimulation, or there is the galvanic stimulation or Faradic stimulation, these are the get changes. And precisely now we do the manual stimulation by using this particular point. So that particular situation we strongly stimulate that muscles get dilated. Slowly that muscles get dilated. So that particular time the patient feel more relaxation, because that having the connectivity where the central nervous system brain is giving the stimulation to that particular region to release that muscles. So in this way we try to do that one particular point to relax that particular muscles. In the similar way we understand there is a point to be known as a. So now here I will give you some of the examples to you. So now there is this is one is completed. Now you look into that each and every the brain and then spinal cord where the neuro perspective of the stimulation to that particular area. That's very important. So now in the imperative way, once we activate this particular area, we understand about the dermatome, myotome, sclerotome, synditome, and enterotomes. So this is in fact is the very important. So now we understand about the cervical facet joints, right? Here we can see that cervical vertebrae where it is essential to focus on this particular region. C1 to C8 nerves are there. So that particularly this shoulder is treatable by activating to the C6 nerve. So activate to the C6 nerve, where the lower border of the spinal process of the each vertebra, and there is the nerve, spinal nerves are passing from the cervical region and communicating the dermatome and myotome to this particular region. So when we are treating the local point to release the muscles, at the same time we are giving the target to release the nerve pathway to that particular region, which is communicating the radial nerve to this particular region. So now we have done the stimulation here. At the same time, we have done the stimulation on this particular region. Then the adduction and abduction of the hand will be slightly in the range of the motion, or you can see the MMT, manual muscle testing. This is important in the sports medicine. So MMT is how we need to resistant by the patient by giving the movements by using the manually testing. The other one is we have to use the goniometer in order to understand the range of the motion of that particular joint as well. Now we understand about these issues, and we do focus on this and also rehabilitative some exercises, and that will be great, awesome to treat for the person will get relief in 3 months period. And during doing this kind of the procedure, most probably patient feel within short period he feel lot of changes. At the same time, when I come to the point to be known as a wrist areas, wrist drop or something is a wrist injury or the metacarpal injuries. So this particularly injuries happen over this region. Of course, surgery is absolutely not required much. If there is the mild to moderate, sprains are there, strains are there. At the same time, we understand is a light fracture is there, is a hairline fractures, and most of the times the cost itself will be good to apply. Otherwise, we can use some kind of the splint or some kind of the brace. That particular region, patient feel lot of pain after that, or that there is a spasticity. So that particular region is essential to open that. Once we open after the cast is or the brace is completed the procedure, then the patient feel more stiffness in this region. So when the stiffness in this hand region, so now we understand about this particular. So this particular region, so now we wanted to use some of the local points as well. Now local points, which is vicinity of that shoulder region where the muscle fibers and tissues got damages. Due to damage of these fibers, definitely according to the macro acupuncture, once we applied the needle on the local area or the tenderness area, or we call as the Hashi area. So that particular time the patient feel lot of changes once it improve the micro circulation of that particular region. If we precisely select the some of the points, so that in fact is the very crucial. So when we understand about the acupuncture points having the very great low resistance and electrical conductivity, that's the reason we just use the local points of the acupuncture point. The another local points known as a sham acupuncture, where the placebo acupuncture, where there is a non-acupuncture points also stimulated to that particular region. Sometimes we are aware of it, sometimes may not aware of it, because we all know that each and every muscle having there is the motor points. So once we apply, there are the certain areas which we call as the metacarpal head of the phalangeal joints and no head of the joints. All are having the points to be known as a PA C points. PA means 8 C points. So this is the evil points. This is the evil points are there here. At the same time is the extraordinary points are located here. This is the one great point to treat for the needles. Great points to treat for the most of the love sen. Love is indicating is the stiff Sen means is the neck. So now we understand this is the one particular point having the miracles to treat for the numerous diseases, which is connected to the local wrist region or the local hand related problem. At the same time, at the same time for the neck related issues. Now I am focusing to treat this particular point. So now we apply the entire point is the love zen point. So now we are treating for the local area of this particular position. At the same time, the people who having the neck stiffness, because you understand anything connected to the hand. So C1 to C8 now is included here. Now we are focusing in the two ways. So once we are giving the command by using this particular point, so this is in fact is communicating to the three Fu viscera. We all know the cross intestinal, large intestine, small intestine, and then triple warmer is communicating point to be known as a Lausen. So we just ask them to activate this and also do the movement of the hand and then wrist region, and certainly there is the local circulation to be taken place. When at the same time I wanted to treat by using this particular hand, now we understand there is a area, this particular area is known as a radial now, we all know. So once we treat for this C6 now, so just we focus here is applying the needle on the C8, C6 now I just applied now. So once we do the stimulation to this, at the same time do the stimulation to this. So both the ways we just activate by giving the stimulation. First you treat for this local area and then treat for the now. So bilaterally at the same time giving the stimulation for both the points, then the radial now to be activated. Now for example, the CTS problem is called as a carpal tunnel syndrome disorders, right? That's majorly sometimes it's required as a surgery, sometimes can be treatable most of the times by using acupuncture alone treatment itself. Now this is the area is the medial now is affected. Now the medial now we can activate by giving the C7 now. So C7 now we just activate on the neck region. So one needle on the C8 now, the other needle to be known as the medial now, we always use the Qianxi. The Qianxi, we all know the pericardium 5 point. So pericardium 5 and then pericardium 7. So pericardium 5 and then pericardium 7. And then these are the two areas where the medial now the branches starts to go to the palm region, and also this palmaris muscles and then lumbrical muscles will get open. So once we'll do this both the stimulations, in fact we are treating to the median now, right? At the same time when there is the injury on the ulnar region is the micro hairline fracture is there. So that particular time, of course, is the rest itself is the recovery for the hairline or the mild to moderate fractures. So that particular time, over the period of time, the patient feel pain on this particular region. Treating to that particular muscles is not much enough, or treating by using the acupuncture meridian or the point also not quite enough. At the same time, once we activate this point, at the same time each and every muscle having the agonist muscle and antagonist muscles as well, right? So we have to focus and treat by using these muscles. At the same time is this the patient feel lot of changes as well. Now this particularly the ring finger and then pinky finger, there is some kind of the pain is there or some kind of the numbness is there. So that particular time the numbness is there, we all know there is the impeachment of the nerve on that particular region of the C8 nerve and then T1 nerve, both are included over here. So treat for the C8 nerve, at the same time is the T1 nerve, so which is taking care for the pinky and then ring finger as well. So no doubt this area to be intestinal or the Taiyang meridian. So just treat for the Taiyang meridian to activate this particular region by using the point to be known as a hand wang go. Hand wang go, we just activate this particular point towards the spinal cord or towards the meridian pathway is always is good. Now sometimes there is a super pain is there, or much more pain is the excruciating pain is there to the patient, where he is not allowing us to apply the needle on that particular region. Now what is the alternate for that? We understand about the interior and then exterior and then the midday and midnight law of acupuncture. So that particular situation we understand about the, especially there is the interior and then exterior. Now we understand there is the name sharing pathway of the meridian. Taiyang, the hand Taiyang treat to the by foot Taiyang meridian. So Taiyang is the SI here. At the same time, foot Taiyang to be known as a urinary bladder. Now we wanted to use, if there is the problem of this particular region or in this region, then use the Shu Gu point and then Chinmen Chinku. So that is UB 63, 64, 65. That particular area is treatable by using this area. When the patient is complaining, I have on the ulnar side of the pain I do have. So that particular time, the Fiyang, Fuyang and Chengchin. So those points are UB 58 and then 59. 60. These are the points is always is good to treat for, especially for this region, right? When there is a excruciating and then acute pain is there. Then we wanted to analyze in the different level. Now when this also couldn't work sometimes, we understand about the midday and the midnight law. Right now, the Taiyang of the small intestine meridian is affected. So that particular time, Taiyang, the organ clock timings is right 3 to 5. The same, the opposite timings is the pulmonary meridian. So you just activate the Thai Yin. This is the Thai Yang, the opposite meridian to be known as a Thai Yin meridian of the same proportional measurement of the opposite organ clock theory. So now we focus to treat for the lung meridian by using the other hand, not on the affected side. How we treat for the hemiplegia, paralysis, or all the neuron related disorders, we focus to treat not on the affected side. We wanted to treat on the contralateral side. In the similar way, this also to be treatable right hand according to the TCM, right hand treatable on the left side, vice versa, isn't it? So now we understand about the overall for the hand related disorders. Now I'll come to the back and then lower extremities, then I'll wind up my presentation. Now we understand about there is a injuries. The person is obesity or the football or the some other athletes, the people who do that or the running and all, this causes some kind of the sprains or the muscles spasm or the vertebrae getting the disc compression in between the each vertebra or the which annular pulposus getting some kind of the slip from that particular region, so that is not attaching to the nerves. So this particular back region we have to handle and treat by using. All know there is the key information, the 0.5 tune, one on the Du meridian, we call as a Dumai meridian. Dumai meridian is known as a zero meridian as well. At the same time is the Dumai. So 0.5 tune lateral to the each and every vertebra, that to be known as a is the Huato Chiachi meridian. This is the key, right? When we wanted to treat for all these spinal nerves, 33 nerves, so connecting to each vertebra, then we are treating to that particular region. Then one tune lateral, this is very important. One tune lateral to the mid spine, that area is known as a facet joint meridian pathway. One is the Dumai, the second one is the Huato, the third one is the facet meridian pathway. The 1.5 chon lateral to the each vertebra, we all know that is the medial branch of the vesical meridian or the Taiyang meridian. So that is communicating to all the lumbrical muscle, multifidus muscles, iliopsoas muscles, upper trapezius muscles, middle trapezius or lower trapezius muscles, and all are communicating to that particular region. When come to the 2 chon and then 3 chon, lateral to this entire region, also known as a motor points activity or the motor meridian pathway. So now we wanted to use as a, when the back pain is there, so that particular time is treatable in the 3 ways as well. One, the patient is complaining there is a pain on that particular middle of the spinal cord, use the 0 meridian or the Tumai meridian, where we call as a Mingmen Chinso. So this is your Yangshu, UB, DU3, DU4, DU5. These are the crucial we are treating to that particular vertebrae. Then there is a spinal nose to be treatable, since that to be given by using the half chon lateral to be treated. When the facet joints also affected, or the facet joints sometimes is the facetectomy also to be done when the severe complication conditions. But without that, we just treat the facet joint meridian pathway, that also taking care of that particular muscles and also facet joints. Then the medial, that particular each and every organ is, there is we known as a, is the alarm point. So thus alarm points to be treatable, and that particular organ is affected because each and every organ is corresponding to that particular region. Back region is the reason to cause the injuries, at the same time is the weightlifting or the moderate severe obesity and wrong postures as well. So that particular time how we handle the situation, so we just use the local points of that particular region to relax the muscles on that region. At the same time, we try to touch and feel the particular region. Due to injury or the sports, the person got, there is an inflammation on that particular region. During the inflammation, so what is required, there is a hardness is there. So that situation is making us to use the cryo puncture. Cryo puncture is nothing but you just apply the ice on that particular region, or that 2 minutes to 3 minutes maximum, you just apply the ice over that region, then apply the needle on that particular region, right? There are the fire needling are there, at the same time wet needling or the cold needling are called as a cryo puncture also done on that particular region to bring the, because the fibrous tissues or the connective tissues got the distension and swelling on that particular region, that causes the much more inflammation and pain on that region. So that particular technique to be done. When there is a more hardness is there, even that particular time we all know there is a blood letting technique as well. In this region where the vesical meridian, the heat flares up, due to that reason that meridian also got inflamed. At the same time, the local muscles also inflamed. So now there is the key point is known as a Wei Chung, that is a UB40, where you try to check out on the back of the popliteal region. So you feel there is the engorged veins or the blue color veins. So just take the lancet and then we need to apply the puncture on that particular region where the UB meridian, that area is is the inflammation. So that time it comes out the blood. So bleeding is indicating if 1 drop of the blood also coming out, that bleeding itself. If it is coming 20 to 30 drops of the blood, that also bleeding itself. Now we understand about that particular region. Use the local points and use the mild cupping modalities of the treatment on that particular region. Otherwise, we can do the wet cupping itself on that particular region if it is inflamed without fracture. Number 3, now we just apply At the same time, I told you there is the urinary bladder is the reason to cause the back pain normally, or the we called as a Chung Mai meridian or In Wei Mai meridian or the Yang Wei Mai meridians, which we called as extraordinary vessels, that also reason to cause the back pain. So that particular region, once we apply on the Peng Kuang show Xia Cheng show UB27 and then UB28. So these are the two areas on the first sacrum vertebra and then second sacrum vertebra. We just apply the needle on that particular region that we are treating to the pudendal nerves, that we are treating to the sacral nerves, that we are treating to the obturator nerve, that we are treating to the femoral nerve. When L2 to S2 and the sciatica nerve also included in this region, right? So once we focus and do that kind of the needling, because there is a key which I remembered, 9 centimeter above from the coccyx region and then 2 centimeter lateral to the S2. So this important point to be known as a cilio, that is UB32, I believe. Yeah, UB32. So that particular point, we just insert needle in the foramina of the second sacrum foramina, so that directly communicating to the pudendal nerves. So once we treat for that, the back pain also get releases all the urinary related problem. At the same time, the penile organ where the S2 and then S3. S2 is the penile organ, S3 to be treatable, sacrum 3 to be treatable to the glans penis. If the person who are suffering for the erectile dysfunction, impotency, or the premature ejaculation, erectile dysfunction is the complicated case. We all know that when the premature PE problem or the impotency problem, so that particular region also reason to cause sometimes is the back issues. When we wanted to treat by using the Kuan Yuan and then Chung Chi, that is Ren 4 and then Ren 3. These are the two most crucial points. Treat towards the penile organ to give the stimulation, to feel kind of the sensation of the Dechi on that penile organ, that cavernosus nerves are strengthening by activating these two bilateral points to be recommended and applied. So now we are coming to the knee region. When we understand about the knee pain or the knee arthritis or the patellofemoral syndrome or the runner's disease or the weightlifting, that particular region, the numerous reason to cause the knee pain. We all know there is the knee pain is the inside the knee pain, and then the anterior knee pain, posterior knee pain, lateral knee pain, medial knee pain. So this is in fact, we understand about the one particular region where there is the knee pain is all the reasons are different from the each knee pain. So we understand about there is a thigh injury happen, or the femur got affected, or that fibrosis or that particular region fibers or the tissues got affected or inflammation. So that particular region, there is the bursa is there, or we call as some kind of the ossification or some kind of the contusion is there, sprain is there. So that particular time, of course, is the reason is we just apply that particular region where there is a tenderness is there. We just try to handle and then apply to that particular region. So we understand there is the hamstring, there is the quadriceps muscles. To relax the quadriceps muscles, we understand there is each and every muscle I told you is the motor point, right? Now we are talking about the major motor points we understand. One is the thigh muscles is the motor points we need to relax and release in order to get the relief of the quadriceps. We all know the three group of the muscles to be known as a quadriceps. One major muscles to be known as a rectus abdominis muscles. So rectus femoris muscles. So this particular region, there is a motor point is P1 and then heading. P1 means is the stomach 31, and then heading means is the extra 31 point. So midway between these two, that particular motor point of the motor point is located on the quadriceps muscles. Right now, we understand once we release that, nearly the problem is connected to the thigh muscles causing the knee pain. The patient feel instant relief by giving some kind of the stimulation. Now we understand about the thigh is governing by the one dermatome and myotome. So that to be known as a L3. So treat for the L3 on the spine of the vertebra. L3 vertebra, you just release that, which is supplying the energy, and then single now is supplying to this thigh muscles. Then L3 vertebra and also motor point, the topic is over. Then patient feel lot of changes on this particular region. So now we understand about the knee pain is there, the patella also included. So that particular time there are the numerous, again is the reason when the patella is governed by the L4 vertebra. L3 for the thigh muscles, L4 for the knee region. So we just activate to the L4 vertebra spinal now, and then apply to the local area by using the local points as well. Now the direction also very, very important. Which direction we need to stimulate? And that's very, for example, I'll give you the patellofemoral syndrome, or there is some kind of the patella pain is there. So that particular region, we all know there is the 2 points are there. That is the Cian and then 2P. 2P is the stomach 35, Cian is the medial eye of the patella. So now you just apply towards the Wei Chung. This is the key. Towards the UB40, we just apply both the needles towards the UB40, and then patient feel lot of changes. If there is a distension and then swelling is there, where the synovial fluid is required in the knee region, rather than synovial fluid, there is the unwanted fluid is accumulated, got the retention. So due to that reason, the patient feel lot of pain on that particular region. Doing the 4 points. If the knee swelling is there, so that particular time we just use the point is 2B, stomach 35, and then Cian. At the same time, there is the Inku, that is the K10 point, and Tai Chi, K3 point. So electrical stimulation to be given to that particular region, then the patient feel lot of changes, and the patient feel lot of relief if there is a swelling is there. Once we give the stimulation by using the right precise point. Sometimes using the K3 point where the posterior tibial nerve is there, so that tibial nerve shouldn't get damaged. Right, shouldn't get damaged. In that way, we just activate these are the 4 points. At the same time, we understand about the lateral cruciate ligament, and then that is the posterior cruciate ligament, then the anterior cruciate ligament. There are the 2 ligaments or the major ligaments or the pars menisci, which is supporting to the knee, that is the tibiofemoral joint. So this particular region, when there is some kind of the disturbances is there, so that particular time majorly sports people will get the problem of the ACL tear. ACL tear will get. So that particular time we called as a anterior cruciate ligament injury. And if it is a total rupture has been happened, so that particular time what is required is surgery is recommended. When there is the mild to moderate, there is a ACL tear is there. That particular time we need not to worry about it, and taking the rest and doing some kind of the supportive measures, and also along with that supportive treatment which is related to the in-ling chuan, siakuan, chuchuan, liver 8, and then spleen 9. At the same time K10 and liver 8, liver 7. These are the points are treating for the ACL problem, and also mild stimulation to be done. Once we activate these are the points, that time is the medial genicular artery, because that also supporting to the knee. If the PCL is there, So that particular time posterior genicular artery is supporting. So this artery to be treatable by activating the point is in link 1 spleen 9. So we just use this point is always is good. At the same time, when the PCL problem is there, so that particular time it is not recommended surgery at all most of the times. Even the sports people can play that with small micro level or the some level of the injury happened to the PCL is not much, think about that patient can easily and so, can play the sports as well. When there is the pain just I would like to now, and the PCL, which we call as the IT band, iliotibial band is syndrome. So that particular time, the patient feel on the thigh region, especially the lateral side of the knee region, patient feel in this region. Then there is the problem is not on the knee region, where we call especially on this region, where the sartorius muscles start and goes this direction. This is called the tensor fascia lata. So this and then adductor abductor muscles, and also this particular region, IT band. So that band to be released by activating one particular point. That point to be known as a Acu-Con, that is the GB33. So slightly superior to the GB33, there is the motor point to be known as a, that is the iliotibial band releasing motor point. So once we trigger, give the pressure, the patient feel very pathetic pain. So once we insert the needle and do the stimulation, at the same time L4 vertebra is the reason, and treat for L4 vertebra, and the patient feel lot of changes. When we come to the lower region or the inside of the knee pain, inside there is a knee pain, for this is the meniscus pain or the medial meniscus, the pads get disalignment or get affected. So even that particular region, patient feel internal pain. At the same time, there is a clicking sounds also happen. So even for that condition also, there is some supportive, which I told you, the nerves, at the same time motor points activation to be taken place. The topmost distal point to treat for the knee pain as per the TCM perspective, where the chi and then chin A body fluids get affected, and the dampness and then heat is more on that particular region. So that time is the most distal point known as a Acu-Con, that is the pericardium 6. At the same time, the thigh chung, that is the liver 3. Liver 3 on the affected side, non-affected side of the knee is the Acu-Con P6. So both bilaterally strongly stimulate both the points, but P6 should be very careful that get the vasovagal attack to cause the fainting as well. So now we wanted to use the alternate for the Acu-Con. We use the Kung Sui, that is LU6 point. So once we activate the LU6 as a strong stimulation, patient feel lot of changes for the knee pain. The another point to be, according to the macro acupuncture, is the most favorite point of mine. That's known as a Quan Huang Shu. That is UB43. So UB43 on the affected.
I request Dr. Samiullah to kindly summarize. We are running short of time. Kindly summarize.
Yeah, sure, sir. I'll wind up now. So once we use the UB43 point to treat, once we do the bleeding on that particular region, because we know the kidneys are located here. From here, it goes to the Mingmen. And then where the maximum energy is supporting to our knee system as well. Right. At the same time, now we understand about the spines are there. on the lateral side of the ankle region. So that particular time, of course, we treat for there are the two most important point to be known as a Chikso and then Su Linchi. That is GB40 and then GB41. These are the two most points for any kind of these strains happen on the ankle region, and patient feel lot of changes by doing this kind of the procedure. And thank you one and all to really giving me the opportunity to share something. Still so many things are incorporated here, but still when the time permits future. So definitely once again thank you for all the organizers, Dr. A.K. Jain, and also my professor and all my well-wishers giving this opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Samiullah. You are a very energetic and a nice orator. You have given some very practical tips which are very direct, penetrating, and I am sure that all the participants have taken the good advantage of all those tips you have given. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, coming to our next third speaker for today's session, he is Dr. K. Basavaraj, and he will be speaking on a very interesting topic, that is 5 elements and food. So let me introduce him. He is a Doctor of Medicine in Acupuncture from Colombo. He is presently engaged in research in alternative medicines at his own center called Basava Natural Healing Center. He is passionate healer and visionary of healer in every house. See, at a point in time, Dhirubhai Ambani was a visionary that every one person will have a mobile phone. At that time, the mobile phone was very rare, but his vision has come true. So, Dr. K. Basavaraj is the visionary of every house should have a healer. So, and he has devised or developed a very nice this thing called Nadishwar for checking up for diagnosis purpose. So that is very important contribution of Dr. Basavaraj. I request Dr. Basavaraj to kindly deliver his lecture on 5 elements and food. And kindly take care of time, sir. We are running short of time. Thank you so much.
Good evening. Good afternoon, all. So we had a great session from Samiullah sir and C.K. Raju sir. It's a great learning for us. So I'm basically an engineer turned to be a healer and combined both and came up with Nadiswaram. So even though my research topic is pulse diagnosis, but my today's topic is food. So I can talk much more on food because I'm a farmer. So weekly 3 days I work in research center. Another 3 days I work in the Baswa organic farm. There's a 2 reasons here why I do farming. If I go to clinic, in a day I will take care 150 to 200 patients. And I can take classes. There's 100 of students are joining. So everyone will ask, why you are spending time in farming? Today or tomorrow, every one of us need to realize what we are eating and what is our body. Because you may think that in my family, we have doctors. I have family, I have a very good of mine is a doctor. He will help me. I'll tell you, no chance. No doctor will help you to rejuvenate, to strengthen. Even though we teach 10 to 20 different healing systems from colors, seeds, acupuncture, many more, all these techniques of healing, definitely it's working wonderful to manage. Any symptoms you bring, we can make it. We are all healers. We are acupuncture and naturopathy healers. We are making balance of it. But he will go back. So most of them, they will tell. So I went to naturopathy center for 1 month, for 15 days. I'm fine for 2 months. Afterwards, all symptoms are coming back. So I started my career 15 years back as a healer, and every bit of mine learning is coming from my patients only. My patients are my first teachers because they will tell very clearly what happens after the treatment. Very truly, because they need relief. They won't tell wrong. Whether the given point is working or not, the given food is making him fit or not. We have to, every house, it's our risk. Don't think it's a business. Don't think it's an opportunity. All of you think it is a responsibility. It's a responsibility for us to guide the individual. That's what in 5 years back, we started a mission called BEAM, BHEEM, Basava Health and Energy Education Mission. Why I used one word, energy, in that. We all learn about the food as an energy, then you have to train others. If you go to any doctors, any nutritionist, they will talk in terms of calories. They will talk in terms of proteins, in terms of carbohydrates, in terms of vitamins, minerals. I'll tell you one thing. In 1 square feet of land, all the minerals are available. You put any seed, any different seed in that 1 square feet, it will yield a different output, depending upon its genetics, depending upon fruits or vegetables. And it is giving a different minerals, vitamins, everything to you. What it means? You no need to buy any supplements from any of the shops. Everything is there within your plate, what you are eating. It's there within in your plate. Everything is there. Then why you feel tired? Why you feel lethargy? So yesterday night, I ate 4 bajra rotis around 8 o'clock. Early morning I left because my village is 60 kilometers from here, from Bangalore. It's almost 12 o'clock. My energy level still peak. Evening 7 o'clock, still peak. If I go early to home, I will have dinner. Otherwise, I will have next morning. Even in 24 hours, after teaching 4-5 hours, taking care of 100 of patients, even 1 minute, my energy won't go down. I'm not appreciating myself. I'm just giving an example. Doctors are telling, no, don't eat rice. Your blood sugar will rise. Okay. In Baswa Organics, we are giving the rice. People are eating the rice. And in Telegram group, in Baswa Organics, you can see the 100 of feedbacks. After eating our rice, their gastric is vanished within a week. Their tiredness vanished within 2 weeks. Their blood sugar came down within 3-4 weeks. How it happened? Doctor telling don't eat rice. Your blood sugar will rise. Doctors are talking about the only glycemic value of the food. Doctors are talking about the glucose of your blood. Why it is rising? One of my students is from West Godavari, Andhra. East Godavari, West Godavari, it's a rice bowl. So in thousands of acres, they're growing rice only. And he came to me, it's my student. He's my student when I'm assistant professor in Jain University in engineering college. Sir, my father is diabetic and his creatinine also very high. Why? Doctors are telling don't eat rice. He's a 22 years guy asking such a wonderful question. My grandfather eaten rice. Their father also eaten rice. But they don't have any diseases. Why we are suffering a lot? Same food we are taking. But whether my ancestors are wrong or doctors are telling wrong, where is the problem? The problem is we are all eating the food which doesn't have energy. So that's what I'm going to talk today's topic. Don't think your food as a nutrition. It's wrong. If you go with that concept, you are the present or future patient. Instead of that, you treat your food as an energy. It's an energy. If you go and ask doctor, what is the difference between chicken and mutton? Both are protein. I'll give you a simple difference. Eat chicken and mutton differently. If you are a vegetarian, I'll give you a different example. The chicken is giving heat to the body. The mutton is giving coldness. It's a two different effects you see. Similarly, if you eat pearl millet, you are getting humidity in the body. Opposite to that, wheat, you are getting wind energy. So food is not a simple thing. It is a medicine. It's an energy. What you are today, it's because of that food. You are made with saptadhatus, rasa, rakta, mamsa, meda, swasti, majja, shukra. All your saptadhatus is created from food. Then what is the difference between our grandfather ate the food which is giving energy to him to work in the field for 6 to 8 hours? The same food we are eating today, even office work, not much physical work, not much. Within 2 hours of eating food, we feel tired, lethargy. Again, we are taking some coffee, tea, juice again. Again, after 2 hours, something you're taking again and again. Where is the mistake is happening? Food is same. They are also eating chapati, rotis. We are also eating rotis, rice. Same. The difference is the food which you are eating today, it is not carrying the energy because of hybridization. We are growing in Baswa Organics. In 1 hectare of land, we are growing only 20-25 bags of rice. The same person, the neighbor person, is growing 50 bags, which is hybrid with fertilizer. And he is seeing at me and laughing. These poor fellows are growing, yielding only 25 bags. But hybrid rice, you're eating this much. Plus, because it is yielding double, it is sugar level also double, the glucose level, the hyperglycemic value. The moment you are eating this much rice also, your sugar level goes up. And second important thing, if you eat the desi breed, the native breed food, you eat very small quantity. You don't need to eat big. Even if you eat small also, whole day you can sustain. No need to eat this. Nothing is required. Only this much is enough. Plus, one more thing you should understand. One is yielding. Because of hybridization, we made high yields. Few people are arguing wrongly, saying that we have huge population, we need huge food. I'm telling you, by growing desi food, desi breed food, you can eat less. Even 25 bags of yielding is more than enough. With the desi native breed, we can sustain even 200 crore population also we can feed. Even 200 crore population also, we no need to depend on any other. One more major difference between ancient food and hybrid food is, doctors are, the modern scientists are measuring the quality of food by saying it has multivitamin, vitamin B6, it has vitamin C, vitamin M, it has glucose, protein, like that they are measuring. Do you know how I measure? If I go to any organic shop, they will tell, sir, we have organic, this one certification, we have this, that, and all. I will tell very simple way of measuring your food. First, you bring some sample before buying use. If the food has its own fragrance and aroma, it has energy. If your food has its own taste, the native taste, then it has energy. The modern scientists, they're measuring food value with nutrition, but we are all healers. We have to measure food with energy. How can you measure energy? After eating, you are feeling good and energy throughout that is energy. Before eating, how to measure? With the taste, with aroma. That is the one, it's a key factor. When I'm in primary school, when my mom is cooking brinjal, the smell is coming out of the house. Today, if you go and open even cooker also, after eating also, you'll ask your wife, what is this mixed vegetables? You have doubt after eating what it is. Means the smell, the aroma and taste is that food is bringing from the micronutrients. Due to hybridization, we increase the yield by increasing the carbohydrate in the food. But we missed. See, always nature is, whenever nature is giving to you, it is giving you fully, holistically. When man is giving to you, he made half the way. He increased the yield by increasing the carbohydrate. He is unable to increase the micronutrients in it. Because the micronutrients are not increased, it is not fulfilled in the food. Because of that, what food you are eating, it doesn't have aroma, it doesn't have taste. After eating that, even you don't have energy. So finally, you have to take energy from the nature in the form of food. The breed should be native. The second important thing, that should be grown seasonally. All the young food grown in the monsoon season. All the in food is grown in the winter. If you take chenna, okay, if you take some masala foods, and if you take wheat, jave wheat and all is the cultivation, the harvesting itself happens in the month of September, October. They're all grown in the winter. Some food like rice, some vegetables, it's grown, it's from the June to November. So it's a yin and yang. So nature itself is giving you, no, I have a special mango which is I am selling in October. Yeah, you are growing by doing all manipulation, but that doesn't carry the energy. So I suggest you eat the food which is having native breed, which is having aroma, which is having its own taste. Nowadays, very people are telling, eat millets. Why you know? Because in the millets, still MNC companies not found the business. They left it out. They're not hybridized. So because of that, people are eating. Don't worry. Within 5 years, the people will find the business there. To increase the yield of millets, they do modification, the energy will go down. I'm telling you, some people are feeling very difficult to eat millets. Still they're eating. Don't worry, you can eat rice, you can eat wheat. Your 10 generations, they eaten same food. You can eat rice, you can eat wheat, you can eat whatever you want. Only make sure that it is a desi breed and it is grown seasonally. And I am the example, live with me. If many patients, and I send my rice all the states of India. If anybody had my rice this year or last year, you can share your experience. It's a great, because I know acupuncture, I know many other things, but finally I always try to heal the patient with food because that is the permanent. That is the permanent. I'm many of us telling a low back pain, 30% of the population feeling low back pain. Another 30% of the people are feeling cervical pain. So low back pain is a deficiency of coldness energy. And cervical is the excess of wind energy. Overall, feeling cervical pain, I'm telling you, just to reduce the sore food. Within 2 weeks, it will vanish. No MRI, no surgery, nothing is required. Because liver energy is always moving upward. Liver heat is always moving upward and creating the stagnation of heat in the cervical region. So which food is creating liver heat? Very simple, all the sore foods, reduce it. And weekly twice or thrice, afternoon from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock, just take sweet lime juice, musambi juice. Within 3 weeks or 4 weeks, you don't have any cervical issues. Pakka. So what time you are taking, what food you are taking, it's a science. No doctor will teach you. Definitely, if you have only 25-30 minutes time, we will learn in depth. So we did research on vegetables, fruits, and some food grains and some of the pulses, and which is the body constitution. Based on that, what we can take under. Definitely, we will learn those things. Okay. Oh, some was saying some charting in this one. So host can allow few people took our. Don't ask me. I don't have stock. Again, I'm telling you, I have only 20 acres of land and limitedly I'm growing. You find nearby you people, or you own the land. Only doctors are not giving health. The food is giving health. Do your farming. Or otherwise, if any farmer is there, give some amount. Make them economical stability to the farmer. Give 10 rupees extra. He will grow for you. And you are asking same dabba quality food and high quality food, same price. How can he grow? Make stability to the farmers and support the farmers. He is your doctor. Farmer is your doctor, your healer, not we. We are all just managing people. Okay. So we'll support the farmers. We'll eat the right food that will heal you right in the great way. Thank you very much. And in future, we'll learn more. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Basav Reddy. This is really a very nice concept you have opened up before us. Something really very good. As far as we are going away from the nature, we are going away from our holistic health and happiness. So it's true that whatever any processing against the things which nature gives us, that is against our happiness and health. Thank you so much for opening up such a nice concept, and I hope that everyone, all the participants are inspired to go for the natural things as you suggested. 5 great elements, as we know, Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, and Prithvi. Prithvi, it gives us all, Aushadhi and Anna, what we call it as.
Yes.
So this is the, evolvement of those five great elements only. Even we can call ourselves as Anna because we become food at the
Yes.
time. If you go to the forest, if lion comes before me, I'll become the food. Or even coronaviruses, many people, many bodies were become, they become food for coronavirus. So while everything is food, but should be natural.
Yes, all
We should-
food carries high energy.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you so much for giving us such an enlightening subject. Now coming to our last session for this today's thing. He's Dr. Hemant Thakkar. He's the member of Council of Acupuncture, nominated by Maharashtra government. He has been promoting acupuncture since 1997 and visited Sri Lanka, Malaysia, and Moscow to learn more and more about acupuncture. And he earned the diploma in acupuncture from New Zealand. And basically, he's a homeopath, but is still, trying to promote the acupuncture also. And he has already trained about 2,000 students. And I'm very happy to tell you that his wife, Neelima ji, Mrs. Neelima Thakkar, she is also very generous in helping us all the time. So I put my namaskar and pranam to Neelima ji and request Hemant Thakkar ji to give us his talk.
Thank you, Ji. Very happy to be here again. Hope everyone can hear me properly. द्विवेदी जी, ये टाइम अंतिम जी ने मुझे बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज दे दिया है. समय कम है और टॉपिक बहुत बड़ा है. सो प्रश्न के लिए समय कम रहेगा. आई थैंक ऑल. अंतिम जी जरा होस्ट बनाइए मुझे तो आई कैन शेयर द पीपीटी. All right, दोस्तों. So I thank you, SB Pass and Antim ji, for inviting me today to give the talk. आज का ये जो टॉपिक है वो बहुत ही important है as far as the treatment is concerned in acupuncture. It is not possible कि इतने कम समय में. Hello. Please mute yourself so that others don't get disturbed.
Kindly mute your mic. Please mind your mics. Organizers, please आप सबका switch off कर दीजिए please.
बेटा एक चम्मच दे तो आप दे दो. एक थोड़ी सी जरा प्रसाद दे दो.
Yes, sir.
All right. So आगे बढ़ते हैं. Classification of acupuncture points and their usage. सबसे पहले एक्यूपंक्चर पॉइंट के बारे में दो शब्द और फिर हम कैटेगरीज पे जाएंगे. यहाँ कहने का मतलब ये है कि जब आप नीडल डालते हो तो सिर्फ आप लोकल एरिया पे काम नहीं करते, आप सारा चैनल जो होता है उसके ऊपर काम करते हैं और साथ ही में उसका इंटरनल पाथवे की वजह से उसका इफेक्ट जांगफू तक पहुंचता है. एक्यूपंक्चर पॉइंट is a place where the chi is collected हम एनर्जी लेवल पे काम करते हैं, इट इज नॉट एन एनाटॉमिकल स्ट्रक्चर। अब आप जो लेफ्ट में देख रहे हैं ये सारा लिस्ट, ये जो कैटेगरीज हैं या ग्रुप ऑफ पॉइंट्स हैं, हम आज कवर करने की कोशिश करेंगे, ये आज हम नहीं कर पाएंगे। सो 80 पॉइंट सबको मालूम है, दीज आर पेनफुल पॉइंट्स, ओके, दे मे बी ऑन द मेरिडियन, दे मे नॉट बी ऑन द मेरिडियन। लोकल एडजेसेंट डिस्टल पॉइंट क्या होता है वो हम आगे बात करेंगे। तो आज हम शुरू करते हैं युआन सोर्स पॉइंट के बारे में। तो युआन सोर्स पॉइंट ऑन द यिन मेरिडियंस, दे हैव टोनिफाइंग इफेक्ट। क्यों? क्योंकि वो सोर्स और अर्थ पॉइंट है, इसीलिए उसका काम क्या है, क्रॉनिक और डेफिशिएंट कंडीशन में टोनिफाई करना है। फिर किसी भी प्रकार की डेफिशिएंसी हो, मतलब के whether you are talking about lung chi deficiency, whether you are talking about spleen chi deficiency, anything, you can work on the source point. These are the points of maximum concentration of vital energy. Source point yin और yang को balance करते हैं. They are used to tonifying both yin and the yang. कई बार हमको प्रश्न होता है yin कैसे टोनिफाई करे, yang कैसे टोनिफाई करे। कहते हैं ना किडनी यिन किडनी यांग। सो किडनी 3 is the best example given here, that it nourishes the kidney yin, at the same time it strengthens the kidney yang also. So yuan source points are often combined. सिर्फ इससे काम नहीं बनता, तो आपको साथ में क्या करना है, आप बैक्शू पॉइंट भी यूज कर सकते हैं, म्यू फ्रंट भी कर सकते हैं, लियो कनेक्टिंग पॉइंट भी कर सकते हैं। अब थोड़ा सा अंतर देखिए, यिन में हमने क्या कहा, दे टोनिफाई, और अभी हम यहाँ क्या कह रहे हैं, यांग के जो सोर्स पॉइंट है, दे एक्सपेल द एक्सोजिनस शी ची, अर्थात बाहर से जो आई वो जो डिजीज कॉजिंग फैक्टर है, एक्सटर्नल पैथोजेनिक फैक्टर, वो दे आर मोर ऑफन यूज्ड एज डिस्टल पॉइंट्स। व्हाई? For painful blockages of chi and blood. Okay, these blockages typically manifest as disorders of the joint like tennis elbow, frozen shoulder, knee pain, etc. So this is the list of the source point. All source points are situated near ankle or wrist joint. Whomsoever wants the charts to be clicked, they can keep their camera ready and keep on clicking. Okay, on yin meridian, earth points are the source points. Now according to Nanjing, these two additional source points are there, one for the fatty tissue, the other for the membrane. And this is the picture of 12 source points. Now we are talking about Leo connection points. Normally yuan source and Leo connection, they are combinedly also treating one couple meridian, यानी कि LI meridian, lung meridian. When you talk about these two, they are the couple of one element. तो ये दोनों के अंदर imbalance है, तो उसको ठीक करने के लिए guest host अथवा source and Leo point, इसको आप ट्रीट करके बैलेंस कर सकते हो, दोनों के बीच में हार्मोनाइजेशन कर सकते हो। सो इट सेज लियो पॉइंट्स, दे कनेक्ट द एक्सटीरियर एंड इंटीरियर, द यांग एंड द यिन। एडिशनली यू हैव लियो कनेक्शन पॉइंट ऑफ डू एंड रेन मेरिडियन, एंड देयर इज अ स्पेशल मेजर कोलेटरल ऑफ स्प्लीन। सो इन टोटल यू हैव 15 लियो कनेक्शन पॉइंट। अब इनका काम क्या है? दे हैव द इफेक्ट ऑन द chi and the blood, not only theirs but their partners also. So chi और ब्लड को वो बैलेंस करते हैं, इसीलिए डेफिशिएंसी हो या एक्सेस, दोनों कंडीशन में इस्तेमाल किए जाते हैं। लियो वेसल्स फ्लो थ्रू द टिश्यू बिटवीन द चैनल एंड द स्किन, अर्थात सुपरफिशियल लेवल पे उसका काम ज्यादा है, ये कहने का मतलब है इधर। दे एक्सपेल एक्सेस chi which is stagnation. एक्सेस मतलब एनर्जी बाहर से एक्सेस तो आती नहीं है, ये एक्सोपैथोजन जो होते हैं वो फाइट करते हैं इंटरनल वाई ची यानी कि प्रोटेक्टिंग ची के साथ, अथवा वाई ची यानी कि इम्यूनिटी। ओके, तो वो जब एनर्जी स्टेगनेंट हो जाती है तब ची एंड ब्लड, इसमें आप वो कंपेयर करते हो, ऑलराइट, और तभी आप इसका यूज करते हो। यू कैन ब्लीड लियो कनेक्शन पॉइंट under the condition where the chi is stagnant, especially when the blood is stagnant. Now this is the list of Leo connecting points. Now we are talking about the alarm points. Alarm मतलब क्या? जब आप पॉइंट को फील करोगे, पाल्पेट करोगे, तब वो टेंडर होगा। ये कब टेंडर होगा? जब उसका कंसर्न्ड ऑर्गन अथवा मेरिडियन अफेक्टेड होगा। सो दे ट्रीट द ज़ेंगफू। सो दीज आर द म्यू फ्रंट पॉइंट्स which are on the front of the body. That's why the name says mu front. These are the backshu points which are tender and sensitive when the particular connected organ is affected. Normally these points are located with their anatomical proximity. Okay, now this is the list of the backshu point and mu front points. Now this is how you can easily remember the connectivity of the backshu points with the location in terms of spinal level. T3 vertebra plus 10 करो यानी कि UB13 नाम का पॉइंट, और उसका काम है लंग को कंट्रोल करना, like this. If you want, you can click this slide. I'll wait for a moment. Now we are talking about backshu point. Use कभी करना है? Normally when the condition is of depletion. Mu front point कभी करोगे आप? To reduce or disperse the chi when it is a repletion or stagnation condition. Funda clear to everybody? Now these are the Jingwell points, which are these first or the last points. Okay, they mainly treat excess condition or they treat acute emergency conditions, and this is the list. Now we are talking about Z cleft. So what are these? Here where the channel chi is deeply converged, 12 regular meridian plus 4 extra meridian, यानी कि 16 Z cleft point है हमारे पास। Z cleft points will treat acute and painful disorders along the pathway and Zhengfu organs. As NEG is accumulated here, it is also used in severe chronic ailments. मतलब के एक बारी हमने कहा acute painful stagnant यानी कि young यानी कि acute conditions, और यहां हम फिर भी ऐड करते हैं सीवियर क्रॉनिक एलिमेंट ऑल्सो। सो ट्रीट ब्लड imbalances and bleeding through Z cleft point because they treat acute conditions and pain. मतलब क्या हुआ? शी यानी कि एक्सेस कंडीशन। तो आपको क्या करना है? नीडलिंग मेथड, ड्रेनिंग नीडल टेक्निक यानी कि सेडेशन। दिस इज द लिस्ट। ये कलर इसके लिए किया, ये 12 रेगुलर है और ये है 4 एक्स्ट्रा मेरिडियन के जी क्लेफ्ट पॉइंट। अभी यहां एक मैसेज है आपके लिए। मैसेज ये है कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल लंग को हम सेडेट करना चाहते हैं तो उसका सन पॉइंट लेंगे लंग 5, लेकिन ये लंग 5 यूज करने का एक इफेक्ट ये भी हो सकता है, दिस बीइंग द वाटर पॉइंट, इवन इट कैन हैव द इम्पैक्ट ऑन द किडनी, वेयर एज जी क्लेफ्ट पॉइंट 5 के क्लासिफिकेशन में नहीं आता, अर्थात उसका कोई भी इफेक्ट किडनी मेरिडियन पे नहीं आएगा। सो मोस्टली व्हेन इट इज एक्सेस कंडीशन एंड यू वांट टू ट्रीट, you can use Z cleft very safely without causing the effect on the फाइशू मेरिडियन अरे फाइशू पॉइंट यूज करके जो इम्पैक्ट ऑन मेरिडियन और ऑर्गन पे आता है उसको आप अवॉइड कर सकते हैं, ये कहने का मतलब है। Now we are talking about influential points. So these are the influential points and they have specific targeted job. Okay? मतलब कि ज़ैंग ऑर्गन को काम करना है तो आप लीवर 3 मारो, that's all. You use the point liver 3 and it will help ज़ैंग organs. Likewise, if anywhere anything to do with muscle and tendon, just use gallbladder 34. Likewise. Now these are the horary points. Horary मतलब self energy points. हम जब फाइशू बात करेंगे तो आपको पता है कि we are talking about liver. तो लीवर मतलब it is representing wood energy. तो wood point of liver is the horary point. ऐसे लीवर के मेरिडियन पर wood, fire, earth, metal, water पांचों एलिमेंट के पॉइंट है, लेकिन wood point will be called as horary point for liver. So this is the list of horary point. Now this is the list of mother and son point. Mother point हम tonification point बोलते हैं, son point हम sedation point कहते हैं, क्योंकि mother always gives. माँ हमेशा खाना खिलाती है ना, भले आप अमेरिका में बैठे हो, माँ क्या पूछेगी खाना खाया क्या, खुद भले नहीं है उधर, लेकिन बच्चे को पूछेगी बेटा खाना खाया. So mother always gives. So when any organ is in deficiency, use the mother point. और बच्चे काय के लिए पैदा हो गए, हमने जो कमाया उसको उड़ाने के लिए ना. So use the sun point to reduce the energy. Clear? फाइशू पॉइंट्स का ये डिस्क्रिप्शन जो होता है, जो सबसे पहले स्पीकर थे डॉक्टर राजू आई थिंक, तो वो जो बोल रहे थे कि फाइशू पॉइंट्स और ये सारे डिस्क्रिप्शन जो होते हैं वो इस प्रकार से हैं, एज इफ द वाटर इज फ्लोइंग एंड उसका लेवल वो डिस्क्राइब करते, सो दैट एक सिमिलरिटी हमारे दिमाग में आती है एंड इट गोज वेरी इजी टू एब्जॉर्ब. ओके, सो हियर फाइशू का डिस्क्रिप्शन है. नाउ दीज आर द फाइशू पॉइंट्स of yang meridians. These are the faishu points of yin meridians. Here again the reminder is there, earth points are source points. Now इसको easily कैसे याद रखना, क्लिक कर लीजिए. ये लास्ट 3 हैं, 9H7 9H7 कॉमन है, इसके लिए एक कलर किया. ये तीनों लास्ट पॉइंट्स हैं लीवर स्प्लीन किडनी के 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. तो आपको जो बेसिक 5 एलिमेंट पॉइंट्स है 60 कमांड पॉइंट्स, उसमें से 3 पॉइंट तो इजीली याद रह गए. नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द यंग वंस. अगेन 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. तो 1 2 3 तो स्कूल के बच्चे को भी आता है. नाउ हियर यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड और रिमेंबर, गॉल ब्लैडर इज द ओनली एक्सेप्शन जिसका सीरीज में 3 पॉइंट नहीं है. Now we are coming to the characteristic of 5 element points. तो जिंगवेल points उसका क्या कैरेक्टर है? Because they can treat excess, वो हमने कहा. Okay, वो क्यों कहा? Because it is able to treat the fullness below the heart. यानी कि any congestion, any stagnation and any repletion. Repletion यानी excess condition. So this is where you will use Jingwell points. Yin spring point. Now these are the second point. Okay, on yang meridian, these are the water points. On yin meridian, they are the heat points. Okay, so when will you use this? For the body heat. That means organ when having repletion of heat, यानी कि हीट के सिम्टम मिले तो आपको ये पॉइंट इस्तेमाल करने हैं. एग्जाम्पल, कंडीशन इज ब्लेजिंग लीवर फायर और ब्लेजिंग स्टमक फायर. नाउ वी आर कमिंग टू शू स्ट्रीम पॉइंट्स. नाउ दीज आर बेस्ट इंडिकेटेड फॉर जॉइंट रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम्स, एनी अर्थराइटिक, एनी बाई सिंड्रोम. हम जिसको अर्थराइटिस कहते हैं वेस्टर्न मेडिसिन में, उसको ट्रेडिशनल एक्यूपंक्चर में बाई सिंड्रोम कहा जाता है. सो हैवी बॉडी सेंसेशन एंड जॉइंट पेन्स, इसके लिए आपको इस्तेमाल करना है पेनफुल ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन और क्रॉनिक डिसऑर्डर्स ड्यू टू डैम्प एंड हीट। डैम्प यानी ह्यूमिडिटी, हीट यानी हीट। ओके, नाउ कौन सी कंडीशन आप यूज कर सकते हो, आई मीन कौन सी कंडीशन में आप शू स्ट्रीम यूज कर सकते हो? वेयर ची इज स्टैग्नेटेड और डिप्लीटेड। स्टैग्नेटेड यानी अटक जाना, डिप्लीटेड यानी कम हो जाना। सो विच आर दिस कंडीशंस इन बाय सिंड्रोम्स? इन ज़ेंग ऑर्गन डिप्लीशन, तो कौन सा हार्ट बोलो, स्प्लीन बोलो, लंग बोलो, किडनी, ची बोलो। तो अगर आपको ये कोई भी ऑर्गन काम ठीक से नहीं कर रहा, एनर्जी कमजोरी में लेवल में है, तो आपको क्या यूज करना है? सोर्स पॉइंट, एंड दैट इज स्ट्रीम पॉइंट। नाउ वी आर कमिंग टू जिंग रिवर। दे आर यूज्ड फॉर अल्टरनेटिव कोल्ड एंड हीट एज वेल एज वीजिंग्स, यानी लंग रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम। अब शाओयांग स्टेज यहां लिखा है, तो मैं फिर से डॉक्टर राजू को याद करूंगा। उन्होंने आपको समझाया 6 लेयर। ओके, तो सबसे सुपरफिशियल लेयर वाज ताइयांग, एंड देन इट इज शाओयिन विच इज इंटरमीडिएट लेवल, मतलब आधा अंदर आधा बाहर, आधा एक्सटर्नल आधा इंटरनल सिम्टम। सो दैट इज कॉल्ड शाओयांग स्टेज। ओके, एक सेकेंड लेकर के सारे स्टेज एक साथ बता देता हूं। द आउटरमोस्ट इज ताइयांग, then it is Shaoyang, then it is Yangming, then it is Taiyin, then it is Shaoyin, and then it is Juyin. So Qi level का प्रॉब्लम है, तब भी आप जिंग रिवर पॉइंट यूज कर सकते हो। लंग ऑर्गन रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम है तो जिंग रिवर पॉइंट यूज कर सकते हो। जिंग रिवर मतलब चौथा पॉइंट यांग में, मतलब कौन सा हुआ? फायर पॉइंट। और चौथा हुआ यिन में, मतलब कौन सा हुआ? मेटल पॉइंट। सो दीज आर मेटल एंड फायर पॉइंट एट द हॉरिजॉन्टल एक्सिस लेवल। अभी ही शी पॉइंट काउंटर फ्लो ऑफ ची, अर्थात रिवर्स फ्लो। तो रिवर्स फ्लो मतलब क्या, काउंटर फ्लो मतलब क्या? तो लंग की एनर्जी नीचे की तरफ जानी चाहिए, उसके बजाय पेशेंट कंप्लेंट कर रहा है खांसी या अस्थमा, दैट इज द रिवर्स ची। ओके, तब आपको ये यूज करना है। उसी प्रकार स्प्लीन की एनर्जी ऊपर की तरफ आनी है, स्टमक की नीचे की तरफ जानी है। ऑलराइट, तो स्टमक की एनर्जी अगर रिवर्स जा रही है तो हिकअप्स या वॉमिटिंग, और स्प्लीन की जो ऊपर आनी चाहिए एनर्जी उसके बजाय नीचे की तरफ जा रही है, तो दैट मीन्स डायरिया। तो ये सारी कंडीशन में आप इसी पॉइंट का इस्तेमाल करोगे। थैंक यू फॉर द चैट। अब हम आते हैं एकदम इंपॉर्टेंट मुद्दे पे। मेरे पास कितना समय है? अभी 10 से 15 मिनट दोगे? आई नीड एटलीस्ट 10 मिनट्स।
यस सर, 10 मिनट्स आर अवेलेबल।
हाँ,
10 मिनट है सर हमारे पास, प्लीज कंटिन्यू।
हाँ, मैक्सिमम 15, बट 10 में हो जाएगा। ऑलराइट, थैंक यू ऑल। तो अभी हम आते हैं बेसिकली, अगर किसी ने, मैं नया हूं और किसी ने मुझे कह दिया कि भाई मुझे सिखाओ प्रिस्क्रिप्शन कैसे बनाना है, तो आपके दिमाग में क्या बात होनी चाहिए? सो द फर्स्ट थिंग इज ऑल एक्यूपंक्चर पॉइंट्स विल ट्रीट द डिजीज इन द लोकल एडजेसेंट एरिया। मतलब क्या हुआ? हम बोलते हैं ना, पहला प्रॉब्लम है तो अपना बाजू वाला काम आएगा, हाँ या ना? तो लोकल एरिया मतलब के सेल्फ मेरिडियन अथवा बाजू के मेरिडियन में जो अफेक्टेड पॉइंट है या पेनफुल पॉइंट है वो। ऑल एक्यूपंक्चर पॉइंट्स विल ट्रीट द डिजीज अकरिंग अलोंग द सेम मेरिडियन। मतलब के यहाँ LI20 है, यहाँ LI1 है, तो ये पूरे मेरिडियन पाथवे में कहीं भी प्रॉब्लम हो वो एक दूसरे का साथ देंगे, वो एक दूसरे को करेक्ट करेंगे। ऑलराइट, साथ में they will have the impact on the corresponding organ as well as related tissue। अर्थात उसका, अभी मैंने फॉर एग्जांपल लंग का नाम ले लिया, लंग एंड LI they are connected, तो वो एक दूसरे का साथ देंगे। लंग का काम है स्किन को देखना, वो भी होगा। और लंग इज रिलेटेड टू नोज एज सेंस ऑर्गन, तो उसका भी काम होगा, ये कहने का मतलब है। इट ट्रीट्स द डिजीज ऑल्सो ऑफ द कपल मेरिडियन, मैंने बता दिया। नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द पॉइंट्स डिस्टल टू द एल्बो एंड नी जॉइंट विल ट्रीट द प्रॉक्सिमल डिजीज। एल्बो से नीचे, नी से नीचे जो पॉइंट है वो बॉडी के अंदर को देखेंगे। जैसे कि हमारे सोल्जर्स बॉर्डर पे बैठे हैं और हम यहां सेफ हैं। व्हाई? बिकॉज द एनर्जी इज अनस्टेबल। पूछो क्यों? बिकॉज इट इज चेंजिंग इट्स पोलारिटी। यहां एलआई मेरिडियन का नंबर 1 पॉइंट है, लेकिन यहां लंग का 11 नंबर का पॉइंट है। और साइकिल शुरू होती है ऑर्गन क्लॉक की लंग, एंड इट इज देन गेटिंग टू एलआई। इट इज शिफ्टिंग फ्रॉम लंग टू एलआई। तो ये कनेक्टिविटी है। और ये जो यिन एनर्जी थी अभी यांग बन के घूमेगी। सो इट इज चेंजिंग इट्स पोलारिटी। दैट्स व्हाई दे आर वेरी मच पावरफुल। ओके, द डैमेज ऑन वन एंड ऑफ द मेरिडियन कैन हैव द रिपरकेशन ऑन द अदर एंड ऑफ द मेरिडियन। इधर आपको कुछ लग गया तो आपको दूसरे कहीं इफेक्ट मिल सकता है और ट्रीट भी हो सकता है। All the gingival points where the energy is unstable, it is changing its polarity, and so they are very much powerful to use. So आपको मालूम होना चाहिए जब मौका मिला gingival point यूज करो, लेकिन साथ में ये चीज ध्यान में रखना, gingival points को अगर निडल करते हो तो they can be very much painful. So ये पेशेंट के साथ सिंपैथी रख के काम करना। 3 yin meridians of upper extremity will treat the thorax. 3 yang meridians of upper extremity will treat head problem, sense organs. 3 yin meridians of lower extremity will treat abdomen, digestive and reproductive functions. 3 yang meridians of lower extremity will treat head region, sense organs. अभी acupuncture का homeostatic effect, that is the most important thing. वेस्टर्न मेडिकल साइंस में एक ही दवा आप ब्लड प्रेशर बढ़ाने के लिए या कम करने के लिए नहीं दे सकते, कॉन्स्टिपेशन या डायरिया के लिए नहीं दे सकते, लेकिन यहां वो पॉसिबल है। व्हाई? बिकॉज बॉडीज एनर्जी इज सुप्रीम। वी टॉक अबाउट होलिस्टिक अप्रोच, वी टॉक अबाउट द बेसिक ची एनहांसमेंट कि बॉडी का एनर्जी खुद कंट्रोल करे और करेक्शन लेकर आए। So same point can be treated for 2 opposite but related condition. Now either side of the body can be treated. Now there are 2 things I want to tell you here. एक पैरालिसिस। नॉर्मल में हमारी टेंडेंसी क्या होती है कि जब पेशेंट पैरालिसिस लेके आता है तो हम सेम साइड को ट्रीट करते हैं, बरोबर है, बिकॉज सेम साइड रिक्वायर्स द ट्रीटमेंट। बट समटाइम्स व्हेन यू डू नॉट गेट द रिजल्ट प्रॉपरली, then you need to switch over to the opposite side because that healthy side will take over. Number 2, especially the pain conditions, balance method is the method which is fantastic. I've been using it for years, and in that the first principle is do not touch the affected side, treat only the opposite side. Ashi points, they are going to be tender and they behave as a trigger point, like I think Sabiullah Saab the mere pehle, and he was trying to explain from dermaton's point of view the trigger points. So these can be labeled as trigger point also, especially for locomotor, degenerative, rheumatic conditions, etc. They may not be on meridian. Alarm points हमने बात की, back shoe, mu front points वगैरह. So you already know about it. Some people do it this way कि एक दिन म्यू फ्रंट लेंगे, दूसरे दिन बैक शू लेंगे, और कोई प्रैक्टिशनर यही पसंद करता है कि पहले 10 मिनट म्यू फ्रंट और फिर बैक शू वगैरह। चॉइस इज योर्स। 8 influential points pertaining to certain conditions or certain tissues, etc. You can use those. Source point pertaining to certain organ you can choose. Z-clef point you can use for acute condition. According to Zhang Fu and 5 element theory, you can choose the points. Now is the D-Day. Click this. This is supposed to be your checklist when you have the prescription, when you want to make the prescription. I have covered most, so you should be happy with that. Within half an hour, I tried my best to give you. Now the last thing, before we summarize, that there is a trick where you get lasting result, which is going to be beneficial for the patient. What do you do in that? Fundamentally, if you know, for example, lung is affected. So lung is thigh yin, that is hand, and spleen is thigh yin, which is a foot. You not only combine them, but you combine the exterior-interior relationship partner also along with that. And that will give you a lasting result. This is the organ clock, everyone knows. And these are the 3 combinations of family of 4. There are 2 families of 4. One is based on name sharing, what we teach in balance method. And this is the second one based on the organ clock. अर्थात जब लंग की तकलीफ है, लंग को ट्रीट करना है, तो आप लंग के साथ लार्ज इंटेस्टाइन, स्टमक और स्प्लीन के पॉइंट अगर सिलेक्ट करेंगे तो पेशेंट को ज्यादा अच्छा रिजल्ट मिलेगा. ऑलराइट, हमको हॉलिस्टिक मैनर में ट्रीट करना है. हमारा अल्टीमेट गोल क्या होना चाहिए? टू बैलेंस. बैलेंस व्हाट? हैंड फुट, yin yang, local distal, left right, front back, above down. So this is another way to check कहाँ क्या बाकी है, and you need to put the needle accordingly. तो hand foot आपने देख लिया, for example lung and spleen. Yin yang again the same thing. आप lung and LI करोगे, local and distal. So this is what it says. The strategy here is that the distal points produce a systemic change in the condition while local area produces a local change. मतलब आप दोनों तरफ बैलेंस करते हो, लेफ्ट एंड राइट. अभी इसका 2 मतलब है. एक मतलब है लेफ्ट एंड राइट साइड नीडलिंग, और दूसरा मतलब है इन साइड अथवा तो मीडियल साइड एंड लेटरल साइड. So the example given here is, if you are giving needle on GB34, you can choose spleen 9. तो वो medial lateral हो गया, inside outside हो गया, left right हो गया. Likewise, if you are using P6, use triple warmer 5. Front and back, move and back shoe is the best example. Upper and lower. Now that's important again. Below and above means when you want to use gallbladder 20 for the hemorrhage problem, so you are balancing upper and lower. और दूसरा तरीका ये है 4 gate points, LI4 and lever 3. They are anatomically similar structure. Same wise LI10 and stomach 36. I am little quick, but I am about to complete. मुझे आपको ये जो काम मुझे दिया गया था अंतिम जी से वो पूरा करना था. Now these are the charts. Be ready to click if you wish to. These are the 3 yin meridians of upper and lower extremity, what they treat. Now these are the 6 distal points. And this is the combo. लंग मेरिडियन के सारे पॉइंट, लार्ज इंटेस्टाइन के सारे पॉइंट, स्टमक के, स्प्लीन के, हार्ट, स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन, यूबी, किडनी, पेरिकार्डियम, ट्रिप डब्ल्यू, गॉलब्लैडर, लीवर. These are the prohibited points. You need to beware. These are the dangerous points. These are immune enhancing points. These are analgesic points. These are homeostatic points. These are sedative points. And that's the complete chart of all the points together. Thank you very much. Hope it was helpful to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hemant Thakkar. You so generously shared the knowledge, and we have been receiving the messages from the audiences that they are so uh, thankful to you that you have shared so many good things, very significant for any practitioner, and still kept in time. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Dr. Hemant Thakkar, and we expect that in future also you shall be enlightening us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dwivedi ji. I am Dr. Nilima Thakkar. As you mentioned me, I am here with you. And I am so much thankful to Antim ji also for creating such a grand platform of all the practitioners of Mumbai. Well done. The job is well done. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Well, still, we are receiving messages from audiences. Big applause to Dr. Hemant Thakkar.
Thank you.
Please keep your blessings on us, Nilima ji and Hemant ji. Thank you so much. Now, I request Dr. A.K. Jain. There is a very special session remaining. It will not go very long, but it's a question answer. Very important questions from the audiences. Dr. A.K. Jain will ask the questions from on behalf of all of us, and Dr. Rumi Veramji will be answering all those questions. So over to you, Dr. Jain.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Once again, good afternoon, everyone. And this is a very important question answer session regarding the Maharashtra Acupuncture Council. महाराष्ट्र एक्यूपंक्चर काउंसिल बना है और आप सब जानते हैं कि महाराष्ट्र एक्यूपंक्चर काउंसिल पूरे देश में एक आइडियल मॉडल बन के आया है और जितने भी देश के अलग अलग स्टेट्स हैं वहाँ पर महाराष्ट्र काउंसिल की हेल्प से हम एक वहाँ पर स्टेट काउंसिल बना सकते हैं। और उसके लिए मुझे लगता है कि डॉक्टर बैराम जी की टीम, डॉक्टर हेमंत ठक्कर, नीलिमा ठक्कर मैडम और जितने भी काउंसिल मेंबर हैं वो हमें सहयोग करेंगे ताकि हम हर स्टेट में इस तरह की काउंसिल्स को फॉर्म करें और जितने भी एक्यूपंक्चर के प्रैक्टिशनर्स हैं, एक्यूप्रेशर के प्रैक्टिशनर्स हैं, दे आर प्रैक्टिसिंग। तो मैं आप सबकी बिहार पर डॉक्टर बैराम जी सर से एक फ्रेम के लिए पूछना चाहूंगा कि यदि देश के विभिन्न क्षेत्रों में हम इस तरह के काउंसिल को फॉर्म करते हैं तो हमें सबको किस तरह की यूनिफॉर्मिटी को ध्यान रखना चाहिए ताकि अलग अलग स्टेट्स के माध्यम से हम एक रिकॉग्नाइज सिस्टम को डेवलप कर सकें।
अभी इसके अंदर क्या है, दो प्रकार का चीज है, एक स्टेट लेवल पे है, एक सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का लेवल पे है। स्टेट लेवल पे और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में जहां भी आपको करना है तो व्हाट यू नीड इज नंबर गेम। इसलिए मैं सवेरे पहले वेलकम एड्रेस में कहा गया कि व्हेन यू होल्ड सच वेबिनार्स और कॉन्फ्रेंसेस वेयर द ऑडियंस इज लार्ज, इट हेल्प्स अस अ लॉट। अभी सबसे पहली बात ये होना चाहिए, इफ यू ऑल वांट टू सक्सीड, हिंदुस्तान में जितने भी एसोसिएशन है, दे शुड ऑल कम अंडर अ कॉमन बैनर। अभी आप सब सेपरेट रह सकते हैं, लेकिन जब गवर्नमेंट से बात होती है आपका सिंगल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव होना जरूरी होता है कि आज पॉलिटिशियन एक ही भाषा समझते हैं, नंबर गेम। कि एक्यूपंक्चर में कितने प्रैक्टिशनर है, कितने डिमांड है, गुजरात में कितने हैं, तमिलनाडु में कितने हैं, यू नो ऑल दैट फैक्टर। ये करने के बाद you should approach your local state government लोकल स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को आप अप्रोच करके बता सकते हैं कि इतने हजार हमारे प्रैक्टिशनर्स हैं, इतने सालों से प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं, पर हमें प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए इजाजत चाहिए, क्योंकि आज महाराष्ट्र को ऑलरेडी मिल गया तो हमें क्यों नहीं। सो ये महाराष्ट्र का जो लेटेस्ट है, इसकी ताकत के ऊपर you can always pressurize and take through the goodwill of your local MLA, MP, जो भी होगा, इनकी मदद से अगर आप ये गए तो the government, if they decide, they can even form an ordinance. Ordinance चीज है जो एक कमिटी बना के the ruling party can give you permission, and that has to be rectified in the next 6 months. अब ये जो हमारी कहानियां हैं महाराष्ट्र की, इज अ लॉन्ग स्टोरी। 10 साल पहले हमने शुरू किया था, गवर्नमेंट को काफी प्रेशर डालते गए। वी शोड देम कितने लोग प्रैक्टिशनर्स हैं, सारे दुनिया में कितने कंट्रीज में रिकॉग्नाइज्ड है, तो हम हिंदुस्तान में क्यों नहीं, हिंदुस्तान क्यों पीछे रह जाए, जब ये ऑलरेडी सारे हिंदुस्तान में अनऑफिशियली हजारों प्रैक्टिशनर्स प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं। जैसे आज की मीटिंग में है, आई एम श्योर 80% रजिस्टर्ड नहीं होंगे, तो वो क्यों नहीं प्रैक्टिस कर सकते। अगर महाराष्ट्र के प्रैक्टिशनर्स को रजिस्ट्रेशन मिला है तो आपको भी मिलना बहुत बहुत जरूरी होता है। तो इसलिए मेरी विनती है कि एवरी स्टेट लेवल आप एक बॉडी बना दीजिए, हु विल रिप्रेजेंट द गवर्नमेंट इन वन वॉइस। अलग अलग जाओगे, कोई आपकी भाषा सुनने वाला नहीं। सेंटर के अंदर हमारी ऑलरेडी कमेटी है, जहाँ डॉक्टर रमन कपूर हैज टेकन अ वेरी एक्टिव रोल, जहाँ पे आई एम ऑल्सो ऑन द बोर्ड, डॉक्टर देबाशीष बख्शी है, डॉक्टर लोहिया जी है, गांटेट साहब है, बहुत से लोग हैं। सो वी आर ट्राइंग टू वर्क अप ऑन द सेंटर ऑल्सो। अगर सेंटर का ऑर्डर आ गया तो आपको स्टेट पे करने की बहुत ईजी हो जाएगा। सो टिल देन आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यू, डोंट गिव अप, कीप ऑन वर्किंग। आई होप आपको अंडरस्टैंड हुआ ये, कि यू वांट सम क्लैरिफिकेशन?
No sir, it's clear sir. Thank you sir, thank you sir. One more question: who is not registered in the Maharashtra Council, how they can register the Maharashtra Council?
Maharashtra has got two categories, A and B. A category is for registered medical practitioner like allopathy, homeopathy, Ayurveda, Unani, and so on. B group is where people have got no qualification, but they're practitioners. So that was only once we could register by holding an eligibility test. Now we cannot register them. So if they have to, they'll have to do a diploma course.
Sir, Maharashtra Acupuncture shortly start the certificate and diploma course. So can you explain about this, sir?
Keeping our fingers crossed, our target is in June. We are targeting to start diploma colleges in the state of Maharashtra. That will be a 2-year course where 10+2, any faculty, that is science, commerce, arts, can join for a 2 years diploma course with a 6 months internship. Once that is done, maybe after a year or so, we'll start a degree course. But right now we are offering diploma course, and that anybody wants to join, they can apply and take a registration and get the degree. And there they'll get the recognition from the Maharashtra Council to practice in Maharashtra.
Thank you. जिन लोगों का महाराष्ट्र एक्यूपंक्चर काउंसिल में रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं हुआ है, यदि आप चाहते हैं अपने आप को रजिस्टर करना, तो जल्दी महाराष्ट्र काउंसिल का डिप्लोमा कोर्स स्टार्ट हो रहा है और आप अपने आप को उस डिप्लोमा कोर्स में रजिस्टर्ड करा के रजिस्टर्ड एक्यूपंक्चर प्रैक्टिशनर्स बन सकते हैं। सर, एक और क्वेश्चन है, कुछ प्रैक्टिशनर्स महाराष्ट्र में हैं और कुछ महाराष्ट्र के बाहर के हैं, तो जस्ट दे वांट टू स्टार्ट द institution in the Maharashtra and out of the Maharashtra. So what will be guideline for that?
See, the Maharashtra Council has got the power to license only in Maharashtra, not outside Maharashtra. अभी महाराष्ट्र के बाहर जो है, if they apply to UGC and they're independent universities registered by UGC, then they can apply to the Maharashtra Council for recognition. There the Maharashtra Council will then take a decision whether the syllabus is up to the mark or so on and so forth. And we can give them counter registration recognition. So if the boys and girls pass from there in future, Maharashtra Council will register them for Maharashtra only. So we cannot give you a license to practice in any other part of India except Maharashtra.
Okay, okay, sir. Sir, जिन लोगों का महाराष्ट्र में previously registration नहीं हुआ है, तो क्या वो प्रैक्टिस कर सकेंगे या आफ्टर दैट उनको कोर्स करना होगा उसके बाद कर पाएंगे?
जो लोग ने रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं किया और प्रैक्टिस करेंगे तो इट विल बी इलीगल, दे विल बी अरेस्टेड बाय द पुलिस. इसीलिए काउंसिल ने कम से कम 9 महीना वी केप्ट ऑन डिलेइंग इट, बार बार अपील दी, बार बार लोगों को विनती किया कि प्लीज काइंडली कम एंड अपीयर. इसके बावजूद बहुत पुअर रिस्पॉन्स था. आज हमारे पास अप्रोक्सीमेटली 4,500 आदमी को हम लोग ने रजिस्ट्रेशन दिया है, बाकी के लोगों ने नहीं किया. नाउ वी कैन नॉट हेल्प बिकॉज एज पर द एक्ट द एलिजिबिलिटी टेस्ट कैन बी हेल्ड ओनली वंस इन अ लाइफ टाइम.
थैंक यू वेरी मच. थैंक यू सर. तो लगभग मोस्ट ऑफ ऑल यदि आपका कोई क्वेश्चंस हो सर से डायरेक्टली तो यू कैन जस्ट हैंड राइज, मैं अनम्यूट करूंगा, आप सर से डिस्कस करके ले सकते हैं. अदरवाइज बेटर इज जस्ट यू कैन सेंड योर मैसेज इन द चैट बॉक्स. B.S. Umashankar, please unmute yourself.
Good morning, sir. Umameshwar from Hyderabad. Sir, ये जो diploma course है, is it online course or offline, sir?
No, it will be actual physical.
Any future planning for online course, sir?
Online cannot be permitted because without practical, how can you do it? So it will be offline only. There is no medical course anywhere in the world which you can do online. But yes, partly it will be online, part will be physical with physical workshops, वगैरह. But the whole 2 years program cannot be online. So somebody asked when is the diploma course? That once we recognize the colleges, we are in the process right now. We will be informing the people to apply for diploma and then they can apply for it. Next, please.
Sir, I want to know if ever any amendment can be done, because I am a doctor, registered doctor, allopathic doctor, and acupuncturist.
Allopathic doctors can apply. They don't come under eligibility test. But right now that is closed for the time being. Again, it will reopen. That time you can get your registration. So you please send your application to the registrar and keep it on the waiting list. When the council takes a decision, you will be allowed to do it after completing the necessary formalities.
So, sir, this process is for all allopathy doctors, Ayurveda doctors, and homeopathy doctors?
All who are registered medical practitioners, that is allopathy, homeopathy, Ayurveda, Unani, physiotherapists, they all can come under a category. So they are allowed to appear, but they will have to do some small course or something, which council will put it up online and we can register them. But that is the second work the council will do only after the colleges are started. Council is very busy right now to start the college. So maybe after 6 months, but please apply it to the registrar. When we start, we can request you to come and join.
Sir, जिन्होंने पहले previously registration कराया, they are called RMP acupuncture practitioners. So they also join the diploma course or no?
Anybody can join diploma course, even a registered medical practitioner from A group, because till today there is no recognized acupuncture course in India. This is the first time Maharashtra will be having diploma course. So anybody who's interested in getting proper theoretical knowledge, they will be also internationally recognized because we are issuing a diploma course. So I would request anybody interested, 2 years is a very short time to get good knowledge, and you will be the pillar of acupuncture in India.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Preeti. Sir, I wanted to ask that we cannot practice acupuncture, but can we practice acupressure or seed therapy, magnetic therapies?
That does not come under our purview. So seed therapy and other thing is not under our purview. But if anybody, if you put some false claims, like many people do, okay, by doing this I'll cure diabetes and cancer, and if tomorrow police takes action, council is not going to protect you because that is not our job.
So we can practice this. We are not treating cancer and all, but normal thing like we do. I do sujok therapy and I do cupping therapy, but I was not aware of this TCM exam because I had not done TCM course. So I didn't appear for this acupressure exam. So I stay in Mumbai. So I can practice this.
Sujok is not recognized. So if you practice, it is on your own. And if anything happens, that is between you and the police. Council does not have a domain over Sujok. So we are not covering Sujok. Sujok is a separate acupuncture. It's a micro acupuncture, one says, but it doesn't come under our purview.
ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच वंस अगेन डॉक्टर रूमी बैराम जी सर, आप आज हमारे साथ जुड़े। और जो महाराष्ट्र के प्रैक्टिशनर्स हैं उनके मन में बहुत सारे डाउट्स हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि निश्चित रूप से जो एक्यूप्रेशर के प्रैक्टिशनर्स हैं, एक्यूपंक्चर के प्रैक्टिशनर हैं, स्पेशली हु आर प्रैक्टिसिंग इन द महाराष्ट्र, वो जरूर अपने आप को रजिस्टर कराएं जब भी ओपन होता है, या डिप्लोमा कोर्स में अपने आप को रजिस्टर करें। उसके माध्यम से आप अपने आप को प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हैं, आपको काउंसिल हेल्प करेगा। सो वंस अगेन मैं आज इस वेबिनार के लिए धन्यवाद देता हूं हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए। डॉक्टर बैराम जी सर जो कि हमारे साथ फिर से जुड़े हैं इतने बिजी शेड्यूलिंग के बावजूद, डॉक्टर हेमंत ठक्कर सर, डॉक्टर नीलिमा ठक्कर मैम, जो कि हमेशा जब भी हम कोई इवेंट करते हैं गाइडेंस चाहिए, मैडम इज ऑलवेज विथ मी, नहीं तुम कर लो, हो जाएगा, मैं हूँ। तो वंस अगेन थैंक यू वेरी मच मैम कि आपका ब्लेसिंग हमारे साथ रहता है, हम करते हैं। स्पेशली आज के हमारे जो मुख्य अतिथि थे, इंदौर के सांसद माननीय शंकर लालवानी जी, मेरे टीचर डॉक्टर पीबी लोहिया सर, डॉक्टर कृष्णा राजू सर, AR समदुल्ला जी, बसवराज जी, आप सबका मैं धन्यवाद देता हूं एसवीपास की ओर से कि आप हमारे साथ जुड़े। और स्पेशल थैंक्स देता हूं डॉक्टर आलोक द्विवेदी सर को, जो कि किसी भी कार्यक्रम के लिए हमेशा बहुत अच्छे सूत्रधार के रूप में हमारे साथ रहते हैं। आप द्विवेदी सर इंदौर से हैं, आप बहुत अच्छे योग के शिक्षक हैं, हमारे एसवीपास योगा स्कूल के सारे विद्यार्थियों को आप पढ़ाते हैं और उसके ऑनररी प्रिंसिपल के रूप में हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं सर। तो मैं आप सबको धन्यवाद देता हूं, थैंक्स देता हूं एसवीपास की पूरी टीम, डॉक्टर रिंकू पोरवाल, मोना जी, वृंदा मैडम और जितने भी एसवीपास के टीम मेंबर्स हैं उन सबको, कि उन सबके साथ मिलकर हमने इस कार्यक्रम को आयोजित किया। और थैंक्स टू जितनी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हमारे साथ जुड़ी, उन सब ने हमें सपोर्ट किया। तो कल सुबह हम पुनः मिलेंगे, सुबह 10 बजे हम समय पे अपने प्रोग्राम को शुरू करेंगे। आप सभी सेम लिंक से ज्वाइन करिएगा। जिन्होंने जूम लिंक का फॉर्म फिलअप किया है, आपके सर्टिफिकेशंस कल प्रोग्राम के बाद आपके मेल पर पहुंच जाएंगे। तो फिर से कल मिलते हैं। मैं पुनः कार्यक्रम डॉक्टर द्विवेदी सर की ओर हैंड ओवर करता हूं। तो ओवर टू द्विवेदी सर।
थैंक यू डॉक्टर जैन साहब। So before the end, let me thank all the participants. वो अगर उन्होंने इतने अच्छे टाइम के लिए in such a huge number, touching to 600, वो लास्ट तक हमारे साथ में रहे, and still there are questions from so many participants. तो आप प्लीज उनको नोट करके रखिए, and we assure you that all your questions shall be answered. So thank you so much and see you tomorrow once again at 10 o'clock. Bye bye. Have a nice day.